What's up, guys? Can you hear me? Mm. Hello, YouTube. We do ponder today. I do see the mic going on, but I don't know if you guys can hear me. I need someone in the chat to tell me if you can hear me or if my lips are just moving. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. If you can hear me, type in chat. I'm saying right now. J'aime beaucoup les chats. Jesus Christ. Ah, oui, c'est bon. On est bon. Premier stream, les enfants. Hello, guys. OK. Eh, le setup est pas mal, hein? OK. Le chat va très vite. The chat is quite fast. So on va voir. We'll see how we manage this. Let me get comfortable. I'm too far away from the webcam now. It's weird. How are you doing, guys? Let me flex my hair a little bit. Look at this. It's impossible for me to follow the chat. It's crazy. Yes, I am an e-girl. It's starting. This is how it starts. I start streaming and then I start begging for subs, then I start an OnlyFans and shit. This is the start of the end. Yeah, you can record the stream if you want to. This stream in particular will not be re-uploaded, I guess. Maybe I will, I don't know. Well, I've gained a whole new level of respect for streamers. How do they follow chat? It's crazy. Yes, I will make a video about Ted Kaczynski eventually. Yeah, so for the people who are just stumbling upon it, on this stream, this is the first stream, so we're not going to have a lot of super chats. There will be no super chats. The way we're going to do it is because I don't have, my channel is not monetized. So the way we will do it is we'll do it through Coffee. And you will be able to ask questions directly on Coffee. I think it will be healthier that way, because I don't like the idea of like the messages showing here. There is a slow mode that allows me to see the chat slowly. Okay, how do we do slow mode? Slow mode. Well, you know what? We'll do the slow mode later, because here you can spam as much as you want. I'm just trying to like figure out how this is going to work. But yeah, when we do the Q&As, we will have a slow mode. First question by Patrick Orgozi, because I caught it. How much fiber do you strive to eat on an average day? I do not count because I don't count macros or calories or stuff like this, but I always make sure that I include things that I know contain fiber. So for example, oats. I eat oats pretty much every single day. I know there's fiber in it. I strive to eat vegetables and fruits every single day. I know there's fiber in it. So for me, it's less of a question of how much do I eat and how much shame do I feel when I go a full day without eating things that I know contain fibers. What Partihan, what interesting name, says, what is your degree about? My degree was in literature, which I enjoy greatly, as you might know, but was fairly useless to get a job. And then I got a second degree, a master's, in something that is more marketable, but I'm not going to say what, because it makes it very easy to figure out where I went to school. Did you reach 19 inches arms? No. No. I'm a little bit above 18 on this one. And this one, you can like literally see the visual difference. There's more triceps, but there's less biceps. So it's like, it's barely at 18. Am I still taking the bee pollen? Yes. Yes, every single day. I don't think I'm ever going to stop at this point because the benefits are just too crazy. Ah, mon petit Amara, mais oui, t'as fait littérature aussi, fatalement. C'est tellement courant en France. It's so common for French people to like study literature that there's so many of us, and so many of us are unemployed too. How bad is alcohol for hypertrophy? It depends how much you drink. If you have a beer here and there, or like a glass of wine here and there, I don't think it's going to kill you. Even though, as you might know, I'm someone who's like quite straight edge and who doesn't drink alcohol, and I don't like alcohol culture at all. I think you will be fine if you drink in moderation. That being said, a lot of people don't realize that their moderation, quote unquote, is actually an addiction because they drink every single day, several times. So if that's the case, then yes, it's hurting your gains because alcohol does absolutely nothing for you. I know that Arnold used to say that milk was for babies and beer was for men. Arnold was also on a bunch of PEDs. Benjamin asks, you spoke about Marxism in the past on the channel. Will you make videos about it? Yes. When the Educated Barbarians start again, we will eventually do that. And if we end up doing streams that are going to be purely for philosophy, there will be a philosophy stream and we'll read Marxist authors and just talk about it. Blanklow, are there any programs you have created that you no longer believe in or no? Yes, the ones at the very start of the channel, I'm not a big fan of. The Sheiko inspired one, I'm not a big fan of. The first full body, I'm not a big fan of, because back then I used to be a big believer in volume, but it was too much. Like there were too many sets, and I think it was overzealous. Why don't you iron your flags? The flags are out of view. Right there on this side, there is a Spanish flag, and here there is a French flag. I don't iron them because they're garbage made of plastic. They're not actual flags made of tissue, so you know that if I iron them, something would go bad. Is the Calisthenics program still getting revamped? Yes, it is. The issue is that I have another program that is going to be also based on calisthenics and also based on anime and manga that is in the works because the show that it's based upon is going to come out very soon, season 3. And so I don't want to do something redundant, but it will come out eventually. Do you have any experience with HIT training doing 1 or 2 sets? No, because I think it's on the spectrum of extremes. There is German volume training that's too much, and then there is HIT that's too little, in my opinion. Cocker volume, quit training for 1 year, getting back, come back message. Back on level. Okay, so you stop training for 1 year and you're 10 kilogram heavier. Is guts too much volume? The guts program, I think so. I do think so. Why did you move to America? I moved to America because I wanted to do an exchange, which is completely out of character for me because I'm extremely casanier, as we say, sedentary. And then I loved it so much that I refused to go back to France. So I got offered a contract in America and I stayed. You should have left that outfit for dating stream. Just wait until you see what I have planned for the dating streams. This is casual still. I have a nice little thong, a purple thong planned and everything. Ambu, tu as l'occasion de visiter le Japon. French people are going to have an unfair advantage on this stream because their messages pop. So I'm going to read them and I'm going to translate them, of course. No, I have never visited Japan because I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And now it's at a point where the tickets are just mad expensive. They doubled or tripled. And I am at a point in my life where I don't even have enough vacation days to justify it. So if you are young and you love Japan and you're like, oh, I'll do it in the future, do it now. Like for real, do it now. Don't wait, because you're not going to have the time once you start working and you have a family. We saw, allez vous faire le programme Casca Physique. We saw who clearly copy-pasted our message in Google Translation, which is smart because now it's in French, but I can still tell. Yes, the Casca program will come out. It's been postponed 2 years because I don't stick to the schedule. Combien de baguettes je mange pour devenir un frigo? How many baguettes do I eat to become a fridge? I live in America, and Americans don't know how to make baguettes, so I don't eat baguettes. I haven't eaten a baguette in like 7 years. It's very sad. What do you work in? I work in artificial intelligence. Do you still avoid milk and beef? Yes, I do. Beef less than I used to. I might have beef every 2 months or so, a very small portion, but milk, I haven't touched it for the past 3 years, and I'm really glad I did. Not saying that milk is bad, just saying that milk for me just made my body react in all sorts of ways, and I didn't like it. Are you nervous? I'm not nervous at all. I'm actually much more nervous when I'm recording a video, weirdly enough, because when it's live, it's live. Like if you say something stupid, fuck it. You said something stupid. It's too late. Like you can't go back and edit it. You can't say it better, which is why in a sense, I respect streamers, because you have to be on your A game all the time. Did you watch the World Cup final? Nope, I didn't watch a single match because I hate soccer. I do not understand the appeal of this game. It's just boring. It's so boring. Rugby is so much better, and it's not as popular. I don't get why. Tips for losing love handles: lose weight. And if you lose weight and you notice that your love handles are not actually shrinking, which is possible, you're going to have to look at your diet and figure out if maybe there are elements within it that might contribute to that specific area just refusing to like shrink. For me, it was milk. Like I used to have these like chunks on the side of my core, and I was like, what? Like even when I lost, I think it was 30 pounds, they were still there, and I was like, what happened? Did I just sabotage my body? Then I stopped consuming dairy and red meat, and they went away. So play with your diet. Is it normal to have lower back soreness during LDLs? Depends what you mean by soreness. If it's in like the SI joint area, I really don't think it is normal. People have normalized low back pain to the point that some people even tell you it's like desired. To me, it means that you, not to say that you don't know how to do the movement, but that you still might be cueing too much lower back and not enough hip hinge. And it also might be recovery, right? You might have a program where you tax that lower back area so much that now it's constantly sore, and you know it because we've all been through that. Like you train legs, you do your first few sets, and then you have like that penguin walk where it feels like there's a bar like on your low back. That's the sign that your SI joint is being overloaded. Comment rendre la vie en salle compatible avec les études et le travail? So how do you mix gym time and social life and work? Well, you have to, first you're going to have to sacrifice, because the time you spend in the gym is time you cannot spend somewhere else. That's obvious. But honestly, if you look at the amount of time the average person spends watching Netflix, for example, or even being on Instagram, that's time you can invest into the gym. So if you train, let's say, 5 hours a week, there should be no modifications in your life. You'll just spend less time being sedentary. If you start being more hardcore and you train more and more and more, this is when you might have to balance it out even more. So maybe a little bit less social life. But I would tell you to be wary of becoming a gym rat, in the sense that you don't want to become the person who centers their entire life around the gym, because you will find out that this is not going to make you happy. Y aura-t-il un jour une routine One Piece? Will there be a One Piece program? Yeah, I think so. And of course, it's going to be based on Zoro, because he's the One Piece character that actually has a desirable physique. I'm not going to make a fucking Queen program. Who wants to look like Queen? Yeah, slow mode is eventually going to have to come into play. I just want to open the doors of the zoo at first to like let you guys get your energy out. It's the first stream. I'm not going to become a dictator right now. Can I take off my shirt and oil up? No, that is only for the people on the coffee page. Sorry. And as for the coffee thing, the way we're going to do it, and we're not going to start today because it's going to be a zoo, but next time, so every single week there will be a stream on Saturdays. Next time, when the stream starts, I will keep an eye on the coffee page, and you will be able to, if you want, post messages directly there by submitting a $3 donation, and that way it creates a list for me to follow. It makes it easier. But that, again, that's for the people who want to have their questions answered 100%. Right now, it's a lot of questions. Do I have any tips for imbalances? Well, you have to understand that imbalances are not necessarily bad, and they're going to happen because the way your body is built is going to like mean that in certain movements, certain muscles take over. So for me, for example, and you can even tell when I'm standing right there, this shoulder is higher than this one. So I'm like this. And because of that, on presses and on vertical presses, on horizontal presses, my right shoulder takes over because it's lower. So it has to do more work because there's more range of motion. So if I have my arms like this, you can even tell the imbalance here. This one is going to go deeper than this one. So as a result, I have a shoulder bigger than the other because it has to put in more work. You're going to also see that with curls. If you have a shoulder higher than the other, it creates a mechanic imbalance, and you have an arm that is favored. That arm is going to be stronger, but paradoxically, it's also going to be smaller because it has less work to put in. The way you can correct this is, oh, there's little hearts. Am I the one doing the hearts? I think so. If I post this 100%, I'm not the one doing the hearts. What was I saying? Yeah, so imbalances, you can just add additional sets of unilateral work afterwards for the muscle that is slightly smaller. That is something that I think is going to really help. And you can add 2 to 3 sets at the end of your workouts, and that should do the work. But it takes a long time because, as you understand, your body will never stop favoring that portion over the other. And so you're constantly feeding that strong part, and you're constantly, in a sense, starving that weak part. So you also have to make peace with the fact that you might never actually be able to completely correct that imbalance. Also, just to make clear, I am not a doctor. Will you make a video about sandbag training? If you mean the action of sandbagging your training, maybe. If you mean the action of lifting with sandbags, no, because I don't use sandbags. So I leave it to the sandbag specialists. Is your name really Richard? Yes. Fais un gros 49.3. Oui, mais pourquoi faire en fait? Où est le bénéfice? Oh yeah, and the rules of the stream. So let's see. I'm going to. Oh, so here I just closed my window, but it keeps streaming. I can still close the window and it keeps streaming. Okay, well, that's good to know. So if I do this, so rules of the stream. The rules of the stream are as follows. You can make fun of me. That's actually encouraged. And if you're funny, I might actually laugh at whatever you're saying. Then, yeah, no doxing, naturally, no politics. We will not be engaging in that nonsense. We are also not going to be talking smack about other fitness YouTubers behind our back, because that's pretty fucking lame. We are not going to spread rumors about other people, because that's also super lame, and no one likes doing that, and no one likes when it's done to them, which of course you wouldn't know, but influencers don't like it. And what are the rules? You can say whatever you want in the chat. As I said, I'm not going to moderate. I'm not going to censor you guys. But the bots will, because the bots are everywhere and they're everlasting. So if you say something crazy, you will be banned, and I will not be able to unban you because YouTube decides. And that's that. And as for the don't spam rule, it's off for now, but eventually I will put on slow mode. How much do I weigh? I weigh 220 pounds. So I'm close to 100 kilos European weight. Should you always feel sore after a workout? No, not necessarily, especially if you take into account that most of your soreness is going to appear roughly 48 hours after you train. So soreness is not a good indicator in my opinion, but at the end of the day, we all like feeling sore because we all like the sensation of putting in work. So I'm also not telling you not to seek soreness, but don't base your workouts around it. It should be based around performance and progression. What morality do you apply? What a good question. I apply my morality, meaning whatever I feel is right and whatever I feel is wrong. But at the same time, that morality competes with what society tells me is right and is wrong. And I have to take the two into account because I don't want to go to prison. Do you still eat red meat? Sometimes, but very, very lightly. What do you think about minimalist training, but very intense? I think it can work at the start. It can work when you are very busy and you don't have time, but there is a reason why maximalist practices, as in the action of focusing more on isolation and covering the entire body, is the favored approach of most natural bodybuilders, is because if you have the time, it's what is going to give you the most results. But it's also true that the difference in results is not going to be that massive. It might be 80 to 100%. But when you get to a certain level, that 20% you're leaving on the table makes all of the difference. Can you advise for someone with narrow shoulders and wide hips? So essentially me. That's my build. So my advice in that case is, one, you're not going to be able to pull off auto mode. You're not going to be able to pull off the low body weight pump look that a lot of guys who have these wide shoulders can pull off, for a simple reason. If your frame is excellent for bodybuilding, you want the least amount of meat on it. Not meaning that you want to be small, but you really don't want excess body fat, because the only thing it does is it blurs your frame. However, if your frame is garbage, you really want that extra meat, even if it comes at the cost of extra body fat, because it's what is going to actually make you look big and make you look good. So focus on getting bigger, work your delts, just so that you can get that extra width. Make sure you work your core. It is the stupidest idea to not train your core because you have a wide waist. Your core is already huge. It's a chunk. People are going to look at it. The eyes are going to go there. Might as well give them something nice to look at. And then arms and legs, limbs. You want anything that is going to make the things around that core look even bigger and bigger. Like, that's needed. You cannot skip. If you have that crazy V-taper, yeah, you can go spider mode because you're going to have a crazy, like, shaped back and that tight waist. So you can get away with it because people won't look at the arms. But if you have the absence of that, you want massive guns. You need massive guns. Est-ce que tu écoutes PNL? I stopped listening to French rap music when I was maybe 13 or 14. And I only used to listen to like Booba and La Fouine, which was essentially like French gangsta rap. But the new era of rap, where like the guys all have like this long hair. I mean, it's just it's the pot calling the kettle black, but it's very soft nowadays, and I don't quite like it. You look like penguins. I'm actually a boomer, because there are so many streamers that have like this massive audience that get these like millions of views that I don't know. I know them by like face and name, but I don't know them. But I know that the guy is like the guy who's known for his long hair. So, un conseil pour les tendinites en entraînement. An advice for people who have tendonitis. I have a full tendonitis guide that you can go check out on YouTube. And I also have now a lot of experience with tendonitis. So best advice for tendonitis: Ice, I know that the scientific consensus nowadays says that icing is actually bad. Personally, it saved my butt every single time I've had tendinitis. So ice, once you're done with your training at the end of the day, the way you ice is, I highly recommend not actually putting ice cubes into a bag, but instead getting one of these renewable ice packs that you can just put back into the fridge. You apply them on the area for roughly 10 to 15 minutes, no longer than that. Because you don't want to create tendon damage. There's actually a very interesting story about an NBA player, I think it was Tracy McGrady, who fell asleep with bags of ice on his knees in front of the TV. And he slept for 2 hours. And when he woke up, his knees were like frozen and he had permanently damaged his tendons. And he never recovered from this. So be careful. But the good thing with the ice pack that is not like ice cubes is that you are not going to suffer that because it's going to warm up very quickly. So you do the area for 15 minutes, then you let it recover for 5 to 10 minutes, and then you can just go on about your days. That's for the ice. And then for the training, I refer to the guide, but essentially you want to walk around the pain, but not avoid the pain. Yeah. Do you like basketball? I played basketball when I was younger. I played from the age of 17 to 19, 20, and then I moved to the US and I focused more on bodybuilding. Also because when I moved to the US, I started playing at my local university gym, and I played against like players from the team, from the university team, and I realized, oh, yeah, there is a reason why there's not many people who look like me in the NBA. Do you play table tennis? No, but in France, it's mandatory to play table tennis when you're young, because every single time, every single year, you take classes and they force you to play. I suck at this game. Beep, boop, poo. Do you think we'll ever create a street lifting program? A program to get you better at street lifting? No, because I'm not a street lifter and I want people to stay in their lanes. But a program using street lifting principles to hypertrophy and get bigger, yes. Your one rep max dip at 15. I'm going to stop reading the message here. You're 15 and you're already doing weighted calisthenics. You're winning at life. Most 15 years old are playing Minecraft and are completely unfit. So the fact that you're already at that level means you're going to be a monster in the future. Just keep at it. Do you watch soccer? Is it what you just asked? Do I watch soccer? No, I don't watch soccer. I detest that sport. Top 5 favorite anime. I can't make a top 5. And especially anime, I'm more of a manga reader. Yeah, I would say like One Piece is of course up there. Berserk is of course up there. Any new animes you're watching? I caught Kaiju number 8 recently. It's good, but it's good in the same way that rereading an old book is good. Whoever made that story essentially copied all of the good elements of Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen, and he was like, let's just mix it up and just release it to the public and it's going to be a hit. He was correct. Est-ce que tu t'étires? Do you stretch? I do not stretch. Or rather, I do stretch, because every single exercise I do is a stretch, because it's weighted stretch. I don't like quote unquote static stretching. I find that it does no good for me. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it doesn't work for me. Have you ever experienced brain fog? Yes, every time I'm done eating, but usually it doesn't last that long. Brain fog can be overconsumption of carbs or gluten. And if it lasts longer than, like, let's say 30 minutes, you might want to look into that because you might have a tough time actually digesting it. Best substitute for pull-ups, lat pull-downs. It's essentially the exact same movement, except your body is not moving through space, which is also why even if you can do pull-ups, you should, I think, rotate them with lat pull-downs. The fog is coming. I hope not. Do you still take MSM powder? Yes, every day. Do you still watch sumo? I couldn't catch the last 2 bashos because I was too busy. And it's sort of like, unfortunately, when you're already too late and you've already like missed 1 basho, it's always hard to go back in and like catch up, I feel, because the hype is sort of dead. It's too bad. But I go through like cycles of me being interested in sumo and not being interested. Tu penses quoi de Lucas Gouif? Probably one of the best French bodybuilder out there and easily one of the best content creator. What does MSM powder do? MSM powder helps with your tendon. So it helps with tendon pain, and it also greatly reinforces the nails. So it makes your nails grow faster and also your hair, which if people want a hair routine, I don't have a hair routine. I literally just take MSM powder. Favorite One Piece character and arc? Ooh, we're asking interesting questions. Favorite One Piece arc? I'm going to be a normie and say Water 7. Mind you, I actually prefer the part before they move on to fight the CP9. So yeah, I would say Water 7. And then favorite One Piece character? Without spoiling, because I'm up to date on the scans, I would say my favorite One Piece character would be Jinbei. Because we're very similar character-wise. This is going to turn into an anime stream. Educated Barbarian new video when? Well, I don't think actually, I know that the next installment will be about Young. We'll throw some Mishima into it, and I hope we will start in October. Do you still do weighted calisthenics? Absolutely. I do my weighted pull-ups and I do my weighted dips, and I do not skip them because I essentially found out 15 years into my training journey that weighted dips is the movement for the chest, shoulders, and triceps that aligns with my build the most, that I can push the most with the least amount of pain. Ah. Oh boy. My computer is overeating. Let me see. I'm plugging it. Plugging it in because I have a little platform underneath that has fans so it can prevent the entire system from breaking down. Attendez, hein. Attendez, un peu de patience, un peu de patience. Voilà. Can you guys hear that, by the way? Do you hear the fan? What is my shoe size? 10.5. Yeah, you can hear it. It's very close to the ground, so it's okay. Perfect. Are you into theater? I like to read. I'm a big fanboy of the of French absurdist theater, but I don't actually go to the theater. And now that I think about it, isn't theater in the US like a cinema, like for movies? So maybe I didn't understand your question at all. What's the most comfortable dip width? For me, it's slightly wider than shoulders, and naturally with bars that are parallel. Because I used to do dips with bars that were like diverging, and I was like, oh, it's hurting my shoulders. Yeah, it's because when your hands do this, because you have to grab onto bars that are like this, so you're like this, you enter more internal rotation. So of course it's gonna hurt. But if the bars are like here and you can grab like this, you can actually be in line, so it's much more comfortable. Do you take creatine? Yes, I do. But you said if so, and of course I missed the part of the message that actually matters. Do you still take ginger? I actually stopped with the ginger because I'm lazy. Two, I cannot find a good source of ginger here where I live now. I used to have access to an Asian market, but not anymore. Do you like spicy food? I like spicy food, but spicy food doesn't like me. I went to India when I was 16, and I shit you not, actually, I do shit you a lot in this case. I lost, I think, 10 pounds in like a week or 2 weeks because I just couldn't eat the food. I remember going to a restaurant and they had like a menu with level 1 to 5 spicy, and I was like, okay, I'll get 1 spicy, please. And they served me something that was essentially just fire, and I couldn't eat it. Like, my entire diet in India was goat milk, bowls of rice that the family I lived with made, very nicely made for me with sugar, and like, that's it. That's essentially all I ate. So no doubt I lost weight. Thoughts on joining the military? If you do it out of love for your country, I think that's brave and that's noble. Just make sure that you actually understand what you're going to be utilized for, because you're going to become a tool. So make sure you don't become accessory of things that you find morally repugnant. And if you do it strictly because you want the benefits, go for it. This is me trying to like zero in on one message at a time. How does having a bigger neck affect your face? Well, it's very easy. We're going to make a little test. All right, that's my neck, right, unflexed. Wow. Look at my face. Like, imagine my face if my neck was like this big instead, like with like a pencil neck. I would look ridiculous. The golden standard of aesthetics for males is this. Here, neck when you're facing forward in line with your jaw. That's like bare minimum. The more you get from there, the more intimidating and stacked you're going to look. So the more like an ogre you're going to look. And it's up to your preference in reality. And of course, the longer your neck is, the harder it's going to be to reach that level. So if you have a very tiny, like penny stacked neck, you might not have to even train it at all. I did not read the sumo arc of Baki. I stopped reading Baki after the Musashi arc because I was getting a bit tired of it. It started to get a bit gimmicky, in my opinion. The first arcs of Baki are just widely superior, in my opinion. I'm built like a fridge. Should I focus on shoulders? No, you shouldn't. Because you're going to commit the mistake that a lot of people, and especially a lot of shorter men, commit, where they want mass for the sake of mass, but they don't realize that it's going to make them look too stocky. Instead, I think you should really focus on your limbs and your core development. Favorite video game? All of the Zelda games, I would say. And Twilight Princess is naturally my favorite because it's dark and melancholic, just like myself. As you can tell from my choice of vest. How did I end up with that questionable fashion sense? That's a very good question. The answer is simple. I never gave a fuck about clothes that I put on my body. I think my mom dressed me until the age of like 15. Like, I shit you not. I would just wake up and there would be something on my chair and I would put that on my body. It could be a poncho with like the Superman logo on it, and I would wear it. I did not care. And actually, it's a running joke now amongst my family and friends because they know that regardless of what they gift me, even if it's the most ridiculous getup, I'm going to wear it because I do not care. What is my favorite genre of music? Metal. Halloween stories this year? Maybe. No promises. Do you enjoy being French? I do, as long as I'm not in France surrounded by French people. Yeah. Being French in other countries than France is actually good because you still run into people who, for some reason, think that France is like this sophisticated place where people are very refined. They haven't been in France in the last 50 years, clearly. How was the Olympics in France? I actually followed it not from France, but it was the best Olympics I've ever followed, at least in terms of what the athletes produced, because we won both gold medals in judo in the heavyweight and the team categories. and it was just amazing to follow Teddy Riner just blow through the competition. And the weightlifting actually was very fun to watch, very fun to watch. And some of these guys have crazy physiques. Does creatine make you puffy? Depends. I know that some people do report that they get pretty bad water retention from it. I personally don't. And I've never had any adverse effect from creatine, so I take it. Who did you main in League of Legends? I never remained a character, and I wasn't a one-trick pony, but the characters that I played the most were Malphite, I think you said that in English, Malphite, Atrox, before he got reworked, Lulu, because I played support, and I think Zach and Vladimir. That was like my top 5. Why was there no Halloween story last year? Because last year I was supposed to go into the forest where I saw that like monkey cryptid, but I wonder if I should say it here. But essentially what happened to me is that I went back to that place and the place had changed. And when I mean changed, I don't mean like the trees were different. I mean the place was completely different, meaning that it looked like the entire area where I saw that thing was plugged and put somewhere else. It was just a completely different space, and I was so confused as what the fuck was going on that I didn't really want to record, because I was like, well, what am I going to tell them? Yeah, that place got like specially replaced and is somewhere else now. I don't know. Favorite aspect of Nietzschean philosophy, the fact that pretty much anyone can take it and make with it whatever they want. Like you can be a Marxist and you can take resources from Nietzschean philosophy to argue for Marxism. You can be anti-egalitarianism, and of course Nietzsche is going to be your bread and butter. You can be about self-determination and more about the psychological aspect of it, and you can find whatever you want in Nietzsche. Like, he was so adept at writing text that can be interpreted so many ways that every time I reread one of his books, I'm like, okay, it feels like it's the first time I'm reading it. The debate concerning overhead press versus lateral raises for the mid delts. What is your opinion? My opinion is that I think people have a black and white approach to fitness, and it's damaging. Overhead press is a great delt builder, overall delt builder. That being said, the main mover of the overhead press is not the side delt. It's an accessory mover. Whereas in a lateral raise, the main mover is the side delt. So you get a one-to-one transference to hypertrophy, meaning you should be doing both. You should push your vertical presses and overhead press, and you should push your lateral raises, because they complement one another. It's not like they are going to cannibalize one another. They actually help each other grow. So do both. I'm actually going to get some water. Apple or Android? Android. Fuck Apple. There are still people who pay thousands of dollars for these stupid phones, really? I've had my Android for like as long as the channel has existed. The thing is just bulletproof. It's a brick. It's crazy. Nokia, Android is the new Nokia. I don't have an iPhone. Actually, I do have an iPhone, but that's my work phone. It doesn't really count. You did call me out though. I don't like it. How much dips help bench? They're both horizontal presses, so a lot. But the best way to get better at benching is to bench. Virtual lifts, they're really, really fun, but for hypertrophy, I would tell you to do something else. Have people recognize you outside? It happened one time, and it was the funniest thing because I was in the middle of nowhere in North America, and I was sitting on the bench eating fries, and I was looking at the lake. And there was a lake view, and a guy walks by with like a group of friends, and he does a double take, and he's like, "Are you natural hypertrophy?" And I'm like, "Damn, really? I'm going to be recognized here out of all places?" And we took a picture. Do you think men are allowed to cry? Yes. Crying feels really good. Will you do more videos on the Dune series? Absolutely. Actually, the script for the next video is already planned. I just need to find the time to record because the last video took me 3-4 afternoons to record. And then it took me a full day, like from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. to edit, which when you work a 9 to 5 is extremely complex. But I know that a lot of you guys like the Dune video and it was a very fun video to make. Can you do an analysis on Erwin Smith? Maybe. He's a cool character. Will the stream be deleted? No, it won't be deleted. It's going to be archived. So I don't pretend to know the way it works, but I want to make the streams watchable for you guys on the channel. So if you missed the stream, because not everyone can be there on the Saturdays off, you'll be able to watch them. And I'm also going to upload them on YouTube Music, because I know a lot of people want to be able to listen to these as podcasts. And I know that YouTube doesn't allow it unless you pay for YouTube Red, and fuck that. So I'm going to make them available for free on YouTube Music. Do a backflip. Sure. Then I'll be wheelchair hypertrophy. How do you get such majestic hair? Genetics, and genetics also. And don't wash them too often. Give some space to your hair to be greasy and disgusting, and wash them maybe once a week. Do you like to draw? No, because I suck at it. Do you go hiking? Yes, whenever I can. I love hiking. Your advice for a teenager training: take your time. You'll be training for the rest of your life. Don't do anything cavalier. Don't try to lift heavy weights to impress your friends. Stay within the 6 to 10, 8 to 12, 10 to 15 rep range. Throw in some 5 rep maxes here and there, and just cover your bases. If as a teenager you start training every single body part, not even hard, but semi-frequently, when you get 18, 19 and you start to get serious about bodybuilding, you're going to have such an advantage over others. It's going to be ridiculous. How to hit 225 bench? Keep benching and bulk. Anyone can reach 225. It's not even a question of if, it's when. But also understand that it means nothing. Right? 225 bench will not unlock a big chest. It doesn't work like that. Progression unlocks muscle growth. Aïe, 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 aïe. Il y a des messages en français, mais ça va trop vite. Ça va trop vite, je n'arrive pas à les prendre. How to get rid of bad tricep tendonitis? Check out the tendonitis guide on the channel. Career advice. Career advice. From me, career advice. Okay. Here is my career advice. Don't try and find that dream job that aligns perfectly with your preferences, and you think if I do what I like, I'll never work a day in my life. Fuck that. Find you a nice, comfortable job that pays enough so that you can have free time on the side to pursue your hobbies, passion, and spend time with your family. I'm entirely black pill when it comes to careers. I'm not the type of person that finds fulfillment in work. I work because I have to. I work because if I don't, I get bored and I starve. That's it. My actual passion is this. It's fitness. It's helping people. I don't help anyone at my job. I help the people who have stocks in the company and they make money off of my work. That's who I help. Comment tu as appris l'anglais? How did you learn English? Well, I certainly did not learn English at school, even though in France, you spend 10 years of your life learning English from the age of 6 to the age of 16. And guess what? We are one of the countries of Europe with the worst, literally, levels in English. Our English levels suck. People in Scandinavia just blow us out of the water. But after that, I decided to be serious because I wanted to go to America. And so what I did is I started to watch shows in English with subtitles, without subtitles, and I would watch it every single day before bed, which I think is very important because that way you ingrain it in your unconscious mind when you sleep. And that's literally how I did it. Media. Would you work as a school teacher? I have worked as a school teacher in the past, but it was in a university. Teaching is fun. The only issue is that I don't like the politics that surrounds teaching. And I'm also, and I think you can tell, I'm not your conventional teacher. And that always ran me into issues with all of the other stiffs that had this idea that teaching had to be this and this, even though they had horrible evaluations by their teachers. I taught French and French literature. I still do teach French. How to deal with a lack of self-trust? Well, you have to convince yourself that you're worthy of trust, meaning that you have to set simple goals and you have to go through with them and you have to accomplish them. Start small. And when you build upon that, you're going to be able to do more and more and more. What do you like about the US? People leave you alone. People mind their business here. Do you know any other foreign language? Spanish. Yeah. And a little bit of Portuguese, but my Portuguese accent is it's not good. How much more can I grow? Can you grow your arms with the right approach? If you're talking about me, in my specific case, if I can put on a bulk, we're talking on a bulk, if I can put 0.2 inches on my arms a year, that's already a lot. That's already a huge, huge win. But that's because I'm already very advanced. Are you going back to weekly upload schedule? I hope so. I hope so. But this is why these streams exist, because that way, if you miss them, you'll still have a video to watch. You'll still have plenty of content to watch. How to work harder? Depends what you work in, I guess. Oftentimes, your ability to work harder is limited by your ability to recover. So you want to work harder, you have to recover harder. Why do back movements hurt with my tricep tendonitis? Well, because you extend the elbow and it puts the tendon under load. I know that for me, sometimes I do RDLs, and when I get to my working loads, my arm is fully straight and I feel my tendon. It just so happens. Will you ever stop walking? No, I don't think so. I'm going to be perma walking for as long as I'm alive, pretty much. Unless I decide to do a cut one day, but for now, I'm like bulk. Am I leaving gains on the table, not tracking calories? I don't think so, honestly. I think that tracking works if you need it, like if you're the type of person that needs to be that regimented to be able to make gains. But I've never once in my life tracked calories, and I've been able to bulk very successfully. I think that if the goal is cutting and being shredded, it's different. I think that in this case, yes, counting calories might be needed. Remove your glasses. If I remove my glasses, I'm going to be summoning an eldritch god that is going to just vaporize the entire universe. You don't want to see that. I read a message that said French goat. We do have French goats. What do you do for work? I work in AI. Richard in Brazil when? My uncle works in Brazil, or at least used to work in Brazil. I would love to visit. Brazilian food is the bomb. What's your eyesight prescription? I am myope. I'm nearsighted. Do you read manhwa? No, only manga. Did I ever visit Africa? No, and I do have family there, but I've never went. Why do you value being anonymous so much? It's just it's a personality thing, I guess. Especially since I'm not making any money off of this entire thing. So if you're going to make bank off of that, I can see why you would actually want your identity tied to your work, because that's why you can leverage it for money. But for me, like, who's going to call me to say, hey, do you want to be in a commercial for underwear, Mr. Natural Hypertrophy? It's not going to happen, because I would say no. So it's only downsides. Ah oui, attendez, parce que how does that work? So that's top chat, and if I click, okay, bon, ça, visiblement, c'est pas ça. And then there's a little thing, okay, participants, moderation activity, it's not there. Reactions, it's there. Okay, so it's not there. I'm trying to figure out how this entire thing works. Maybe it's this. So that's dashboard, channel level settings. Ouais, enfin, ça fait rien du tout. Okay, so that's not that either. Je suis l'idiot du village, hein, vraiment. C'est terrible. Hein. Edit, peut-être là? Eh, I'm going to click on something. If the stream ends, it's not my fault. Ah, ça a fini? Attends, est-ce que je vois mon bras? Oh putain, je vois pas mon bras. Oh, je vois mon bras, c'est bon. Oh putain. C'est chaud, hein. Ok, donc c'est là. Donc si je vais là, customization, anyone, live reactions, and then there is slow mode. Okay, we're going to enter slow mode just to check. Boom. And save. Ça n'a pas l'air de marcher, hein. I don't think it's working. Is it working? It's not even working. You guys are still... Ah. Oh, ça sert à rien. Slow mode my ass. It's not doing anything different. Can I be your second wife? I don't think that my first wife would allow that. I know it's working, but it's not doing shit. It's not a mullet. You ignorant swine. How dare you? I did used to have a mullet. How did I start working in the US? I got a degree here. And when you get a degree in the US, they give you a permit to work. Est-ce que les pullovers font une expansion de la cage thoracique? Is ribcage expansion a thing? Yes, it is. Because your rib cage has muscles in between the ribs. They're known as the intercoastal muscles. And when they grow, what do? They expand the rib cage. That's a 60-second explanation. Now, is it going to turn your rib cage into like a balloon or into like a ball rib cage when you don't have it originally? No. But if you want to do the experiment, go back to the start of the channel, look at the pullovers I did at the start, and look at the last video I made where I do pullovers. The entire section of my rib cage is like double the size because it expanded. Now, some people might not like the look, but someone like me with a large waist, I'll take that. Toasted pineapple, biggest problem with niche and philosophy. The biggest problem with niche and philosophy is that niche did not want to be understood. Any tips on studying and focusing? Find yourself an environment that you can relax in, that is free from distraction. Put your fucking phone away, turn the screams down, and listen to classical music. And don't take stimulants. Does sleeping position affect hypertrophy? Yes. Yes. Because if you constantly sleep on your side and you crush your arms or your shoulders, you might eventually create some nerve damage, some nerve pinch or whatever, and that actually might hinder your ability to grow. So be careful. Yeah. Thoughts on reverse SSB lunge as main deflection of the day? I think it's one of these weird movements where technically on paper it's supposed to be a quad movement, but in reality, when you do it, you realize it's much more of a glute and hamstring movement. So I wouldn't bank on it growing your quads massively. Do I know how to dance? I think I know how to dance, but every time I dance, people make fun of me. So clearly I don't. Did you read The Climber? Yes, it's good, but it's also it's also one such story that I read one time and then I never reread again because it's like still fresh in my memory. Sid, pire conseil que tu aies jamais entendu. Worst advice you've ever heard? There's too many to count. What? Do you know Alexander Lowen? No. What is your heritage from? It's all over the place. I think there's a curse in my family where we cannot stay on the same continent for more than 30 years or we explode. So every single time, people in my family just hop from continent to continent. I have ancestors from Africa, I have ancestors from Spain, I have ancestors from Germany, I have ancestors from Austria, from Turkey. Tips to solve acne. I have no idea. I've never had acne in my life, so I would be bad advice. The one thing I can tell you is that watch out for all of these creams that they sell to teenagers to clear your skin. The only moment in my life where I ever had acne was when, for some reason, I started to apply that on my face. Then I stopped and the acne went away. Yeah. Some people, your ancestors have been in the same place for thousands of years because they're like, it's nice here. I don't know. I think maybe it's also my ancestors maybe did certain things that got them kicked out, and they were like, "We're going to go there to see if maybe it's better." I hope I can break the curse. Well, technically, I already left France, so. Do you meditate? No. Have I ever surfed? No. How did you meet your wife? Wouldn't you like to know? Streaming for 1 hour. Are you attracted to kids yet? Yeah, Twitch has an effect on the brain. It appears. Best Berserk arc. I mean, it's the Golden Age arc. There's only one answer. Worst Berserk arc. That's the question. I didn't like the arc with the. I won't even remember their names. The guys who are supposedly from like the East. I didn't like that arc. Avis sur l'explosion de la stratégie des steppes en France pour maintenir sa condition, porté par Lucas, which is the 10K step strategy that is supposedly going to make you shredded. Honestly, I think first and foremost that it's going to make people walk again, which is always good. But then again, you have to be able to do it. Like I cannot find the time for 10K steps a day. And I think a lot of people who promote it, their job is fitness, and they seem to forget that a lot of us are drones and corporate slaves, and we're all shackled to a desk 8 hours a day. What I could do is what the boomers like to do in the office, where they have these like little steppers that they step on. It's so ridiculous. Do you still use the technique you described to engage your lats when you do weighted pull-ups? Yes, I still do pull-ups exactly the way I taught you guys to do pull-ups. I do not go into a dead hang. I never go into a dead hang. How much do you easy bar preacher curl? 110 pounds. So it's a 30-pound bar, 225s, a 10, and a 5. The day I'll be able to preacher curl 225s on each side is the gay. Freudian slip. It's the day everyone is in trouble. Will you cut your hair? No. I'm going to keep it. Do you drink coffee? No, but I do eat croissant. Any good lift for a skinny fat person to transform the body? All of them. You're skinny fat. Your focus should be on training. A good intermediate number for RDLs. You know what I think about strength standards. I think they're stupid, but it really depends on your weight. Like for a guy my size, 400 pounds, you start to be in early intermediate, in my opinion. Oh, boy. I have to find next time I'll have a different setting because I'm in a office chair. So if I like lean back like this, it's not really conducive to good viewership in my opinion. Did you continue Berserk after Mira's death? No. It's just my opinion, but personally, I think it's disrespectful. That's just my take. To me, the guy is dead. If Eiichiro Oda died tomorrow, and I hope he doesn't, but if he did die, I would stop reading One Piece. Will you get a better mic? Is the mic bad? Because here, right there is a mic, and it's a much better mic. But so just for the first day, I'm using this because my laptop is already like plugged all over the place. Who asked for the mic? You just saved the stream because the stream was about to cut because my laptop was running out of battery, and that forced me to look at the laptop and realize it was going to go offline. Phew, that's crazy. It literally was like 1% battery. Oui, je suis en technologie. Yes, I suck at technology, but computers and stuff like that, they don't like me. So there is reverb. Okay. For the next stream, I am going to. How funny would it be though if the stream just cut mid-sentence because my laptop ran out? Yeah. Can you dunk? I used to be able to dunk. When I was around 70 pounds and I played basketball, I could dunk, but only one hand. I never managed a two-hand dunk. Now, if I can touch the rim, that would already be surprising. Yeah. Since when do computers require to be plugged? That makes sense. It's a laptop. It should be just permanent battery. It's a scam, the fact that I have to plug it. I'm going to ask for my money back. Can you do dumbbell pullovers on the floor or in the bed? Yes, you can on the floor, but it's going to limit the amount of stretch you get. Can you do them on the bed? Yeah, I guess. But I think the fact that unless your mattress is really solid, your shoulder blades are going to they're going to like sink into the bed. I'm not sure it's the safest option, to be honest. Stay in a rat race or live on the streets. Rat race, because at least in the rat race, I get food and I have a bed. Deadlifts worth the injury risk. Depends how you deadlift. Depends if you're built for deadlifts. I know I've never hurt myself deadlifting, and I will likely never hurt myself deadlifting because I will let go of the bar before I hurt myself. But if you're a knucklehead, maybe don't deadlift. That's a good question. If I hit 1 million subs, would I do YouTube full time? It's hard to say because I could technically still make a good chunk of money from YouTube now if I monetize the channel and I started to take sponsorships. But then again, I really don't fucking want to. And ads nowadays are just so horrible. Like sometimes I have to just take off like the ad blocker. Correction, I don't have an ad blocker because it's illegal. Sometimes I have to remove the ad blocker that some scoundrel installed on the library computer because I would never. I like to watch ads because it's very important to watch ads. So I watch every single ad, even more than I need to. I actually go back to watch more ads. That's true. YouTube, I swear I watch the ads. But yeah, 5 ads in a row, really, that I cannot skip? Fuck that. I have to watch my mouth. Favorite cuisine, Asian cuisine, Chinese cuisine in particular, from the Sichuan region. What does liberty's responsibility mean to you? It means that if you want to have absolute freedom, you have to be ready for absolute consequences. And if you don't like consequences, you should be ready to have limited freedom, because freedom is not a right, it's something that you earn for yourself. At least in the philosophical sense, not in the state organized sense. Why did you choose to start streaming? Because I missed this. I missed the ability to engage with you guys, to talk about things. And also knew for a fact that like my upload schedule is all over the place because I don't have time. And every single week I'm like, I'll find time. And then come the end of the week, I'm like, oh, I didn't find time. How funny. With this, every single Saturday, I'm going to plump my fat ass in front of the computer and I'm going to stream. Whether there is 1,000 people like there is now, which is insane, by the way, or 20, I don't care. I will stream. I will talk to you guys. We'll discuss things. We'll talk about philosophy. We'll talk about dating. We'll talk about all of the things I want to talk about. The issue with videos is that I'm limited now because each video takes so much time to make and to produce. Honestly, I think that streaming is going to be the revival of philosophy on this channel. Have you read Doro? No. I attempted to watch it with my wife, and she was like, it's too violent. So we haven't watched it. Would you consider yourself the chosen one? Yeah. Why do you think I'm growing the hair? I'm going for the Jesus cosplay. Thoughts on Diogenes? I think if I was alive back then, or if he could be transported into our reality, we would be friends. Who is your favorite arm wrestler? Todd Hutchings. Because he's just a fucking machine of a man. Just pure, just pressure from the side. Is it true that all Frenchies are gay? Yes, it is. Depending on the time of day, the French go either way. Favorite all-time boxer? I would say Thomas Hearns. Big fan of the Hitman. My wife asked, have you had quarrel with your wife because of training? No, that's also one of the reasons why she is my wife, because she, unlike all of the girlfriends I had beforehand, never tried to compete with the gym when it comes to time. She knows that the gym is an integral part of my personality and my life, and she knows that I don't want to skip because it makes my life worse. Is hamstring soreness a sign of good training or low frequency? It can be both. It can be both. Does your wife like anime? Yes, that's why we're married. Do you think I was going to marry some normie? Favorite Hajime no Ippo character? Wolf. I think his name is not Wolf. Is his name Wolf? I don't even remember. Now, Miyata is too... Miyata suffers from like the Sasuke curse, which I know is unfair because Sasuke came afterwards, but he's too moppy for me. Tu penses quoi de la diète Whole Foods? What do you think about the vegan diet? And the guy adds, I really hope it's a meme because I really don't want to have to give up meat. I think it's worth a shot. Try it. Try reducing the amount of meat you consume and see what happens. And there's a lot of fear mongering, sadly, in fitness spheres about, oh, if you stop eating meat, you're going to lose gains, blah, blah, blah. I used to be the guy who ate meat every day, twice a day. I now eat meat once a day, if that, and I saw no difference. If anything, I felt better. But as always, don't fall for the extremes. Don't think, oh, well, I'm going to go all the way then. For most people, we fall in the middle. We need a balance. You prefer Todzilla over Devon Arad? How? Because although I greatly enjoy Devon and his personality, I don't like his style. His style is mostly control the pressure of the opponent, rise, contain, and then fuck him up. It's cool and it's exciting because it allows him to shit talk, but I like the relentlessness of Todd. And the fact that he doesn't deviate from his plan, the guy always does the same thing. He's going to go inside and he's going to push you to the pad. That's it. And also, if you train arm wrestling, listen to him. He knows a shit ton about programming. Would you make more diet-focused videos? No, because I don't really care about diet. How to program bench and overhead press together? I would recommend, let's say you have 2 upper days. Each day should have a focus, so vertical or horizontal focus. And then very simply, you just complement it with the other lift. So you open with dips and then you do military press. You open with AD press, seated deltoid press, and then you complement that with flies. It's very easy. Did you read GTO? No, I watched it when I was a kid, and it was deeply inappropriate. Any tips to eat more? Eat less. Meaning that you should eat less during each meal, but have more regular meals. Because if you have that one big meal at 2 p.m. where you stuff your face, you won't be hungry until 8 p.m. Cut that meal in half, and that way you're going to keep stimulating your appetite. Comment prendre l'habitude de lire? How to start reading? Start with books you enjoy. I know that a bunch of booktubers and people who are really into books tell you, oh, you have to start with Aristotle and serious stuff. And if you read anything else, it's not serious. Who cares about that? Read what you enjoy reading. And then once you have that, you build that habit, then you can start to branch into more serious topics and serious literature. This is part of my library. Most of these books are like fantasy books because I enjoy fantasy and philosophy, but I didn't start by reading philosophy. Can you imagine your first book is like Nietzsche? You're never going to like reading. It's not possible. What is the point of marriage? And we can talk about that for a long time. The point of marriage is that this world was built for two, meaning that most of the systems, most of the services, the entire economy is built around the idea that you're going to have two incomes. And when you have two incomes, things become cheaper because it's much cheaper to pay rent or mortgage with two people. It's much cheaper to buy food for two people than for just one person because you can make more food at once. And I'm just talking about like the practical transactional aspects of marriage here. I'm not even talking about the partnership, the companionship, the affection, the fact that you have someone who has your back all the time. That's huge. Like most people, they can't have, like even your parents, you can't count on them 100%. If you have a partner that you marry and you both love each other, that person has your back always. You have a bad day, they're going to comfort you, they're going to make you feel better. If there's an issue in life, there's a problem in life, as long as you have that person, you're good. The only downside of it being that if you lose that person, you're pretty much fucked because it's going to just shatter your life. Ton avis sur l'éveil des consciences de Delavier? I wanted to read the book, but I could never get my hands on it because it's impossible to get in the US. But I like Delavier. Do you have any knowledge about subderm, which I suppose is a skin condition? No, I'm sorry. You should go and see a specialist. Avis sur la philosophie d'enseignement de Gundil. Gundil est un boomer. Michael Gundil is a boomer. And I say that in the best way possible, meaning that he gives good advice, but you have to be careful because he does get stuck in his ways. Anytime you listen to someone on this platform who is 40 plus, you have to be careful because that person most likely is going to be like my way or the highway. Can I do Smith machine vertical press as a novice? I actually think novices are the ones who really should be putting all of their eggs in that basket, because the Smith machine takes care of the stabilization aspect for you. It takes care of the axis of the movement for you, so you can focus on just pushing. Avis sur les tatouages. What do I think about tattoos? I think they're cool for the most part. I don't want them on my skin because I know that I would get bored of them. And the issue is that you cannot get rid of a tattoo unless you pay for very expensive laser removal. Zero reps in reserve for hypertrophy. For isolation movements, yes. For presses and upper body work, yes. For rows, yes, because there is literally no risk. For legs, no reps in reserve for good mornings, no. For deadlifts, no. For squats, no. Reps in reserve is something that should be reserved for legs. Do you get annoyed that Rudy Gobert is French? When he loses in the NBA Finals, yes. If he wins, we're good. Favorite philosopher except Nietzsche? I would have said Miyamoto Musashi not so long ago, but Mishima is starting to get up there the more I read about him. Bodybuilding sans point libre, ça craint, je fais que des machines ou Smith. To me, the beauty about being a bodybuilder is that you're not limited. Right? If you're a powerlifter, barbells are your life. Naturally, you compete on them. If you're an Olympic gymnast, rings are your life because you compete on them. But with bodybuilding, we don't compete on implements. We compete on a stage. So you should make use of every single tool available. Calisthenics, free weights, barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, Smith machine, you name it. It's there, use it. Is it too late to start psychology university as a 27-year-old woman? I don't think so, but you need to have a career option, unless you're someone who just has a ton of money and just wants to take classes. But if you want to be able to get a career, understand that depending on where you are and the area of psychology you want to work in, it tends to be overcrowded. So make sure that you pick something that is going to allow you to select a specialty that is in demand, because you really don't want to spend all of that time and then get nothing from it. What is your type of woman? Tall, intelligent, and funny. I want to start kickboxing. Should I replace the gym with it or combine them both? The Anoir. You should combine them. And you should also understand that when you start kickboxing, you should go easy on it. Don't kill yourself at first. Get the skills. And then slowly but surely start to transfer the portion of time you spent and the energy most likely you spent on weightlifting into your kickboxing career or endeavor rather. And then you can start thinking about doing specific training for kickboxing. Exercises that you used to love but now that you hate. That's a good question. I don't do anything that I hate because I usually get rid of them very quickly. An exercise that I used to do all the time, bent over dumbbell rows. I used to do them all the time, and now I've stopped and I do them on the bench, posted. But I think it made a lot of sense for me to start with them because it allowed me to build a posture chain. FR, oui. Oui. C'est un stream français, hein. Pour les anglophones, vous n'êtes pas chez vous, en fait, rentrez chez vous tout de suite. Hein. What's your favorite movie? My favorite movie? Okay. When it comes to movies, I'm a complete normie, so I would say The Dark Knight or like one of the Lord of the Rings. Anglais, s'il vous plaît. Non mais les Anglais, vous nous avez pris la Bretagne, vous allez vous calmer, hein. Vous nous avez pris la Louisiane, qu'on vous a vendu pour une misère. Vous n'êtes pas chez vous, hein. What do you do for cardio? I do steppers. Thoughts on hypertrophy training and companionship with plyometrics, 6'3" and can't dunk? I think that in your case, adding literal muscle fibers on your legs and your glutes in particular is going to be the key that unlocks the dunk. Because at 6'3", unless you have literally T-Rex arms like this, you should be able to dunk. Best lift for the outer part of the forearm. So what are we talking about? Like, are we talking about this here that bulges, or are we talking about this part here? Because if you're talking about this part here, hammer curls, anything in that fashion is going to be good. And if we're talking about the inside, well, any supination work is going to do it, and any type of wrist curl is going to do it. Tu penses quoi du Fit Game FR? What do I think about the French fitness YouTube? I think it's really bad, to be honest. I think they're like 15 years behind when it comes to not just the science, but just the practice of lifting. And if you are French and you know how to speak English, that is a definite advantage on the competition. Because if you're French and you only speak French and you can only consume French content, on souffle très très fort hein, parce que putain c'est de la merde. Hein. Are you planning to make more Mishima videos? Yes. Yes. Favorite era of history? Favorite era of history? I would say the 1700s in France. Super chats. So there will be see, this is what's great about streaming is that my I cannot like get my brain to like focus on the thing. It jumps everywhere. And even just as I say that, my brain is still doing that because I keep reading messages. It's a skill that I'm going to have to develop. There will be no super chats. The way we're going to do it is, if you want, attends, parce que truc, if you want to help the stream, oh là là, comme ça marche, hein, parce que je fais des trucs, mais je comprends rien. Donc, if you want to help the stream, you can donate on the Coffee page, and the Coffee page, can I post in my own thing? Like this? Ouais, c'est bon. Et est-ce que je peux pin ou un truc comme ça? Est-ce que ça marche comme ça? Ah, mais parce que là, c'est pas mon message, ça. Ah, putain. Ah, les salauds. Arrêtez de poster. C'est bon? Okay. If you want to donate, you click on that little link and you can donate, or you can like get a membership. You can donate $3 a month. That would be great. And the way we're going to do it next time, because like even with the slow mode, this is not sustainable for you guys. We're going to do it so that we're going to do like fitness, hypertrophy. We're going to do self-improvement, dating. If you have a question, you can just donate. Don't do it today. Do not do it today, okay? Because I will not read them today. But you will donate on the thing. You'll donate a coffee, so it's $3. And you'll enter your question in the coffee, and that way I have a list of all of the messages and I can read them directly from there. But I'm still going to keep reading the messages from the chat. You don't have to do that today. Do you like the Rocky franchise? I think I only watched the first movie. Do you do shrugs? Yeah, I do shrugs, even though they're completely redundant and not needed to grow your traps. But at the same time, they only tax your traps. So it's literally free volume. So whenever I have like a giant set and I need a lift to like fill in the gap, I just do shrug, because it's like it's right there. It's free volume. Likewise with forearms. NH, is your white tree monster story real, or did you embellish it to make it more interesting? It's 100% real. I did not embellish shit. It's exactly what happened. Do you like Legos? No. I missed the Lego train when I was a kid because I was a dinosaur kid. Do you still have your cat? No, unfortunately, she passed away, I think 2 years ago, at the ripe age of 21. So she was already an old lady, but she went pretty peacefully, and she's now buried under a tree in the family garden. So she's resting in peace. Yes, RP Kitty. She was the best kitty. My last injury, I broke my big toe by dropping a 45-pound plate on it, which surprisingly was not that painful at all. But because I'm an idiot, I didn't go see a doctor, and it didn't heal properly. So now I have like a fucked up toe. Will you get another kitten? No, because I cannot take care of a cat properly right now. And if I do get a cat, I want the cat to be babied. I want the cat to have the best food, everything. Opinion on dogs. I've never had a dog. Like I've never had my dogs. My family had dogs. I don't mind them, but I'm more of a cat person. Should I do pullover if I have a small waist? Yeah, of course. Do you ever have snapping elbows? No. Opinion on online jobs. You mean like work from home? They're the best jobs. The very notion and idea of having to go to an office to work in this modern age is ludicrous, ridiculous. Favorite dinosaur? Favorite dinosaur, I would say. I'm not very original. I would say the Allosaurus. Avis sur le Texas à visiter. I've never been to Texas. Ever been to Sweden? No. I am very poorly traveled for a European. Les open space sont des garderies pour adultes. Oui, oui. Spinosaurus is pretty good too. Haha, I saw something interesting in the chat. Someone said program reviews. We will be doing that. This is the reason why I also wanted to stream, is because it allows for that. So what we will be doing, and that will be next week, next Saturday, you will be able to, likewise, through coffee, send me your entire program, and I'll sit and I'll review it with you. Ever worn a beret? No, because I look at, like, my head is huge. I don't know if you can tell from the stream. it's enormous. Anytime I put a hat on, it's like the hat is like downsized. Every single cap I've ever owned, I have to go to the last strip of the band, and even that barely fits on my noggin. What's your favorite Final Fantasy? I've never played that game. Big brain. Can you save the stream? Can I save the stream? Yes. I'm going to upload it on the channel afterwards. You have any bad habits? Yes, unfortunately. The worst one being that I catastrophize. So sometimes everything is going fine, and then my brain is like, hey, what if this scenario that is very unlikely to happen happened? Then what? And then I spend literally an hour planning something for a situation that will never occur. Have you watched the One Piece Netflix show? Yes, and it was good. I was surprised how good it was. Even Kobe, they managed to make the character of Kobe interesting. Incredible. I'm 20 and 120 kilos. I don't like bodybuilding, and it's moving fast. I don't like bodybuilding and want to lose fat. Should do calisthenics, powerlifting, or just cardio? Don't do calisthenics at your body weight. You're going to ruin your joints. Powerlifting might be a slippery slope that will keep you fat. What I would recommend is, you don't have to be a bodybuilder, but pick up a resistance training program that is balanced, and just do that. Like, don't do starting strength, for the love of God. But go on Boost Camp and find yourself like a general strength program, and you'll be just fine. I think Board Only Man has a bunch of them. What the hell? It's always funny to locate the origin of the... Okay, this one was a stray hair. Do I know where my viewers are? Very simple. We're going to do a test. Put your country of origin in the chat, and we're going to see who is from where. And the stream is going to end at 5 p.m. EST, so in an hour and a half. Okay, we have a bunch of people from the UK. We have a bunch of people from The US, we have a lot of people that are not from the US, surprising. Croatia, we have Albania, we have Germany, we have Austria, we have Kuwait, Kazakhstan, l'Italie, India. I know that we have a bunch of people from India too. Africa, but Africa is not a country. Are you really from Africa? Bangladesh, Singapour, les Philippines, Lituanie, l'Arabie Saoudite, Australia, Argentina, Finland, France. Yeah, we seem to have a lot of people who are actually from Europe. Trinité Tobago. Have you considered studying philosophy? No, because my mindset has always been, if I can study something outside of the classroom, I would rather do it by myself, because I don't see the point of getting a degree in philosophy. Like, what are you going to do with it? I know it's a very money-oriented mindset and a career-oriented mindset, but if you're going to spend 3 to 5 years of your life getting a piece of paper, try and get a piece of paper that gets you a job. Can you get the... Okay, too fast, sorry. Are the training programs up to date on Bootcamp? Yes, they're all up to date. The Michael, the person who runs Bootcamp, is doing a tremendous job at making sure the programs are good. Will you ever use your subreddit? I don't have a subreddit. I have someone who created a natural hypertrophy subreddit, but it was not me. And in the same vein, I will never have a Discord channel, because I know it's a little bit hypocritical to say that on a live stream of all places, but I really do try to reduce the parasocial as much as possible. The good thing about the stream is that there is a connection, but it's an interaction. The issue with the Discord is that I've seen what happens. You end up with the person who runs the Discord, who is the YouTuber, who is like the god of that Discord, and when they show up, people clamor. It's weird. Like, I don't like that. Oh, tips for training in prison from someone who is currently in Supermax. Well, in your case, intensity is not going to be an option. So I would say bang everything on volume and frequency. Train as often as you can. And yeah, I don't know if you have a gym in the prison, if you can get gym privilege or not. But if you can, try to do whatever is allowed here. Have you done martial arts? If so, what was your experience? I did judo when I was a kid, and my experience was terrible because I was a wimp. And I vividly remember being up against a girl at a tournament, and that little so and so, whenever I was going to throw her, she would grab onto my hair from the back so that I couldn't throw her. And I remember being like looking at the arbiter, like, you seeing this shit? And the guy just apparently was like, well, she's a girl, so she gets to. And she was like, she had like a scar running through her face, and she had like short hair. She was like a special agent kid. And she eventually beat my ass, and I was like, I'm done with judo. I don't want that. Like, come on, really? Really? Like, I'm already bad at this, and I'm going to have to put up with that person who was created in a lab? No. So I quit. Do you play chess? Yes, I do play chess. Not too much, because I get a bad temper when I lose too much. Will you update your playlist? When I have time, because it takes time, and I'm a perfectionist, which essentially means that I never will. Unless I break both legs and I'm stuck in the hospital, then I'll have time. Have you ever measured your IQ? No, because I really believe that IQ tests are... It's a trap. It's a trap, because whenever I've met someone who told me their IQ unprompted, that person was always an idiot. Always. Like, I've had people announce me I have 140 IQ, and then I speak to them and they're like, like clearly below average intelligence. Ever played paddle or tennis? No. Still on the path to 19-inch arms? Yes. You only have a pull-up bar and a deep bar. How can you maximize hypertrophy? Well, you're going to make weighted pull-ups and weighted dips your bread and butter. That's what you're going to be doing. And then after that, you're going to find any iteration that you can do on the side to isolate the small muscles of the arms, which will require you to get more than that. You might need to get a towel. You might need to get like a few plates here and there. It won't run you. It won't like run you rag. It's not super expensive if you get very cheap plates. Like a shitty 25-pound plate, you can buy for $20. Someone said subscriber review, and I said yes, we will do it next week. We'll do it next week. And there was an interesting question in the chat that I just remembered. Someone asked, and that's a very good logical question. If you're going to give advantages to the people on coffee, why not monetize the channel? Well, it's because, as I said, the coffee is like, it's all I can spare. It's all I can accept. Like my principles are like, it's this close to breaking my principles, but you're not forced to pay on coffee. That's the point. You're not forced to give me money. If I put ads on the channel, you're forced to watch them, and that I don't like. If there was an option for you guys to opt out of seeing ads, I would put ads, but you can't do that. And the rage, the guttural rage that runs through my body when I'm forced to sit through these ads, I don't want to inflict that on others. And people say in the chat that there are certain softwares you can use. Yes, but a lot of people don't have them. A lot of people don't use them. Case in point, the fact that every single YouTuber has ads. Why do you think they have ads? It's because the majority of people sit through the ads. And also, keep in mind that if there was ads on this channel, there would be ads on the stream. Like there would be ads randomly popping out. It would be like Twitch. Do you want to sit through 2 minutes of someone trying to sell you garbage bags in the middle of a stream? I don't. Do you like JoJo Bizarre Adventure? JoJo is very gay, and that's the best part of it. The issue is that it's a slow burn. And on top of that, I know JoJo fans hate hearing that, but it's not as smart and sophisticated as they like to think. Like the combat system is pretty fucking dumb. Like it tries to be smart and it just fails. It's like Hunter x Hunter has a smart combat system. JoJo, I'm sorry, but most of it ends with I'm closer to you, so I will punch you and I win. Okay. Just watch Dragon Ball Z if that's what you like. Who was the blonde girl on your holiday? Was she a sea spirit? To this day, I still don't know. I still cannot find her, but I remember her name. But Baki is also gay. Yes, Baki, actually, I would argue that Baki is even much gayer than Jojo, which is why I like Baki better. Are all the French raging atheists? For the most part, yes. Actually, I was reading a statistic recently that showed that 20% of teens in the US pray before they eat. And I guarantee you that in France, that statistic is not even 2%. It's not even 1%. I don't pray either, just saying. What's your favorite Pokemon game? Pokemon Silver, because I have a lot of good memories attached to it. Oui, après, Yaya qui dit pour les chrétiens, ok, mais pour les muslims, c'est chaque repas. Yes, the Muslim population in France is extremely devout, because if you call yourself a Muslim, you have to be devout. But Catholicism in France is not what it used to be anymore. Most people you meet that call themselves Christians don't go to church, they don't pray, they don't read the Bible. So, okay. La question sur les pullovers. Someone asked, if you expand your rib cage doing pullovers, is it stuck like this forever? No, because what expanded is not bone, it's intercostal muscle. So if you stop training, it's going to shrink. Same with the neck. You train your neck and you no longer want a big neck, it's going to shrink back to what it used to be before you train neck. And it's the same with every single muscle group. Do you recommend quitting a job in order to take long walks? No, unless you have a better option that allows you to take these walks. Can you develop the bones? Bone training is not really my area of expertise. I mean, when you bodybuild, your bones get denser. That has been proven. So technically, you do develop your bones. Bonne nuit, Sid. Yeah. Yeah, if you're in France, I know that the streams run a little bit late, but I had to find a balance between making sure that the population in North America would be able to catch it in the afternoon and that the population of Europe would be able to watch it without like staying up until 3 a.m. So someone asked, but it's in the post, from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. EST every single Saturday. And if there is no stream, I will let you know in advance. And I will always let you know via a schedule what the stream is about. Even in the title, I'll let you know. Am I going to allow the viewers to speak with me? I don't think so. Because I already struggle to control what comes out of my mouth. I cannot control what comes out of your mouth. So if you say something crazy on my stream, I'm the one who is going to have to deal with the consequences. It's also the reason why super chats are not active. It's because I don't know what you're going to say. You're a bunch of savages. Start doing merch, never. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're halfway through the stream. I'm about to piss myself. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to take a leak, and then I will be right back. Attention. Oh putain. Uh-oh. Busted. I do not sit when I pee. No. How would you know if I wash my hands or not? You can't know. You don't know if I take showers either. Is it possible to get ribcage expansion without pullovers? I don't think so. I mean, a dragon flag is not a reverse pullover. Camus or Sartre? Camus. Come on, come on. Can you get a Pillarman physique natty? I think that the part that is pretty impossible to replicate is the small waist to limb size, because their limbs are bigger than their waist. That's not really possible for an natty. Actually, that's not even really possible for someone on drugs. Toyota or Honda? I don't really know the difference, to be honest. What do I smell like? Not good. Not good. I took a shower for you guys. I want that to be known. I took a shower and I washed my hair specifically for you, to be presentable on camera. Would you rather play soccer or golf? Golf is pretty. I've never played, but I'm certain it's pretty fun. You are in the sun, in nature, and you hit a ball once, and then you take a 25-minute break. So you don't take showers on normal days. Well, I don't really have a choice. Some people can go without showers. If I do, soon enough, my neighbors will be calling, reporting a dead body in the house. So I shower after I train, and I train pretty much every day. Opinions on diet sodas? I'm certain that they're not as bad as regular sodas, although some people would agree that they are. My only issue is you're still drinking soda. And the question is why? Thoughts on Alan Throw's progress? He looks so much better. His arms have really, really improved. And if he keeps doing bodybuilding, he will keep looking better. Do the French wash their hands after bathroom? Less than the Americans, I've noticed. It's not as big in France. In America, if you go to a public bathroom and you leave without washing your hands, people they stare at you, like they look at you like, wow, that person is clearly European. How to deal with super tight traps? Put your shoulders down. Most people, especially lifters, they don't even realize it. All day we're like this because you're stressed out. And when you're stressed out, you flex your traps because it's a survival instinct to protect your neck. Shoulders down, let them relax. And I think that doing weighted stretch with the traps can also help reinforce that pattern. Ever done yoga? No. Protect the neck. What pickup line would work on you? Any compliment on my body, especially if you compliment my biceps. Yes, that or offering me food. What are your history of injuries? Poof, there's too many to count. I fucked up my knee multiple times. I fucked up my right knee. I think it was the ACL when I played football. I messed up my left knee doing squats, my patellar tendon. I messed up my right shoulder 2 times doing bench. I broke my rib cage. I broke ribs. Part of my rib cage, I guess. I broke my wrist when I was a kid. And I've recovered 100% from every single one of them, even the most severe, which is good. Opinion on opinions. I think having opinions is a pretty fucking stupid opinion, but that's just my opinion. You're 20 but stuck on secondary school since the pandemic. It was the last time you were fully social. Can I click and then it doesn't move? No. Do you have any advice to get rid of regret of the past and wasted years due to depression? Well, it's easier said than done, but the past is the past. And whatever happened back then, you cannot you cannot influence anymore. So don't allow the sadness from the past to color your ability to have a bright future. I understand it's easier said than done because regrets are heavy and it's tough to get rid of them, but try to embrace a more active approach to your future. Do things every day that are going to pile up and are going to lead to you having the life that you want. Don't just think it's going to happen, and don't become nostalgic. Nostalgia is a form of death. And I speak as someone who is deeply nostalgic. How to not engage the shoulders when benching? Impossible. Because your chest activates through the shoulders. Were any of the injuries related to scoliosis? I don't think so. What is your sleep position? I fall asleep on my side and I wake up on my back. You're looking handsome. You should have seen me before I took a shower. I looked like an actual street rat. And I was like, I cannot. Actually, fun fact, this is technically the second stream, because when I was trying to set up the stream the first time, I accidentally started streaming and I was like all greasy and disgusting. And I was like, oh, great. Excellent. I've already fucked it up and it's not even second one of the first stream. Who cooks in your house? Me. I cook maybe 90% of the meals. Any sleep apnea problems? No. I used to when I was overweight. How does your wife tolerate your rat form? Is she supportive? She is. Sometimes she will tell me, hey, you look like a caveman. Do something about it. But that usually just takes me taking a shower. Do you really watch anime? No. You got me, I'm lying. I'm just one of the many influencers who just pretend to like anime because they know it's marketable and there's a lot of audiences that enjoy it, just so that I can weasel myself into your good sentiments and I can reinforce the power social even more. Thoughts on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? First controversial opinion of the stream, I do not think that these should be called Zelda games. They're literally open world games where they've just plastered Zelda and Link and a few of the characters in it to sell them, but they have nothing to do with Zelda games. Who's your favorite Baki character? Who's my favorite Baki character? Man. Musashi, I guess, even though he's not very developed. How do you think old NH would react to your current path? He would question the long hair. He would question the program. He would question the fact that I'm making money from this, because old NH was much more rigid and ideologically pure than I am. I've had to make compromises to survive. Is pirating video games moral? Yes, especially if you pirate from is it legal for me to say that? I don't know what I can and cannot say. No, pirating is bad because it is illegal. And as we all know, the law is moral and ethical. So you should not pirate. And you should especially not pirate from Nintendo, because Nintendo is a very respectful company that totally doesn't fuck over the people that they work with and totally doesn't hate the people that buy their games. So if you pirate, make sure you never pirate from Nintendo in particular. When will we get a Fight Club video? There's so many of them already, like that I feel like there's nothing much to say about it. Have you ever read Fire Punch? A friend of mine who is like big in the Fire Punch lore tried to get me to, and I never could get interested. J'ai pas regardé Frieren en bout. I didn't watch Frieren because I have a problem with this new generation of anime where the main character is a little girl. I don't know. I don't get why men my age watch this. Like, when you watch Baki because you might be slightly homosexual, which is fine, or because you want big biceps and all of the characters have big biceps, I get it. I'm the exact same. But why do you watch these weird shows with like witches and stuff. Like, I don't get it. If you're going to watch stuff like this, that's like for girls, like shoujos, go full on. Watch like Uran. Like accept the fact that you're enjoying that, but don't pretend that, oh, the show is great. It's like fantasy. No, it's weird. A lot of people didn't like that take. It's fine. Have you watched Naruto? Yes, because I was a kid in the early 2000s. And if you didn't watch Naruto back then, I think you were abused technically. So I did. I also got heavily bullied because I used to like, I had my little nerd friends and we used to like have battles where I would like go, psh, psh, Caton, la boule de feu suprême. Yeah. Fun fact, fun story. One time I went to what we call a CDI, which is a place where you can make copies of like documents. And I shit you not, I went with a full list of like Naruto techniques. And I handed that to the guy and I was like, can I have a copy? And he looked at it and he was like, what is it? And I was like, oh, it's a scroll for my ninja techniques. The guy loved me out of the building. Like he followed me to make fun of me. That was like a 40-year-old man. Just because I wanted to have my techniques on a scroll. I think that's rude. Hein, le passé est lourd. Hein. J'en ai vécu des choses. Hein. Still eat garlic daily? No. I eat garlic twice a week. He was simply from the opposing ninjutsu school. Yes. I was from le village des nuages. I was from like Kumo no Kuni, I guess, the one where like Zabuza is from. And he was from le village des feuilles. He was from the leaf village. That's why. What would you recommend someone start with philosophy? Start with stoicism. Because it's like entry-level shit and it's very easy to understand. Kingdom, did you read, watch it? Any guess, I guess? Any opinion on Mobu's arm size? If you want something to motivate you to train arms, go watch Kingdom. Why is there light outside when it's 10 p.m. in France? Because I'm not in France. You tried bee pollen and your allergies went away. Good size. Just like me. No more allergies. It's such a life changer. NH, avez-vous des recommandations pour les tâches ménagères, tu dis? Les tâches de la journée, ne pas tergiverser. Make a list. If you have things to do in the day, make a list. And then like go through the list and make sure that you complete the list and then move on with another list. For a lot of people, the action of putting it on paper is critical because it's going to like put it in your mind that you have to get it done. Do you like Crash Bandicoot? Yes, I used to play it when I was a kid. Peux-tu dire à mon ami Charles un joyeux anniversaire en anglais? Charles, happy birthday. You have a good friend. Opinion on the esoteric movement. I think that the esoteric movement is very interesting. I also think it attracts many people who are too stupid to understand logical philosophy and who try to shroud it in darkness to like cosplay as some edgy person who knows about like the darkness of the universe. I don't fall for that. You started iShell 21 and they just beat Agon. Keep reading. Tax evasion tutorial. Tax evasion is bad, guys. You need to pay your taxes. You need to make sure that you give as much as your money as possible to the government so that they can do with it what they want. And what they want is the common good, because politicians work for the common good. Better believe it. And H, are you a Fed? I don't think Feds are allowed long hair. And H, es-tu légèrement homosexuel? I don't think so. I know it would be a leg up in bodybuilding, but I've tried, but like, unfortunately, men do nothing for me. Opinion on Mishima's final act. Technically, that falls under politic. Advice for starting a fitness channel. Don't. It's the most saturated domain that there exists. There is a gazillion. I can cite you right now 15 fitness channels with 1 million subscribers you've never heard of. You will go nowhere. Like, your channel will go nowhere. Knowing this, if you still want to do it, do it. Do it because you like it, not because you think you're going to get something from it. Because frankly, the fact that this channel got to its size is already just abnormal. Are you enjoying the stream? What does it look like? I feel like a fish in water, as we say in French. I'm loving this shit. Like, it's been 2 hours. It feels like it's been 20 minutes. Have you played Rayman? Yeah, it was one of my favorite games when I was a kid. Yeah, and if you make a YouTube channel just to document your journey, do it. The funny thing about YouTube is that you can tap into their servers for free. Like, they pay millions, if not more, a year to maintain their server, and you get to upload your stupid videos on it as much as you want. Do it. Take advantage of it. Home gym on a budget. Get a pull-up bar. Don't get a squat rack, they're too expensive. Get a squat stand, and some of them double as pull-up bars. Get a dip bar attachment, and there you have it. You have your essentials. After that, you're going to scrunch together plates and weights that you get for cheap. Buy them from people who are getting rid of them. If you know that there is a gym next to you that is closing, give them a call, because they try to get rid of all of their stuff that no one wants. And start slow. And only buy things you're going to use. I guarantee you, you can build a good home gym for almost nothing. And rings. Someone said rings. Get you some rings. Are squat racks nearly the same as stands? No, because the squat rack is 4 pillars with 2 connecting pillars minimum, and usually it's 3. Sometimes they connect at the top, and they're on average 40% more expensive than squat stands. So if you're on a budget, don't get a squat rack. Adjustable dumbbells are what we call une fausse bonne idée in French, because they're expensive as fuck. And on top of that, then you have to buy the small plates that go with it that are also expensive as fuck. You would be better off getting a few 25-pound plate and 10-pound plates and a towel, and just like grab onto the towel and use it like a dumbbell. As a job, do you recommend working as a dentist in a clinic? What? That's not a question. Yes, if you can be a dentist, be a dentist. That's a good career. But I don't think you can just walk into the office and say, "Hi, I'm a dentist now. Open your mouth, bitch." Don't take that last part out of context, please. Thoughts on Jung? I love Jung. We're going to make videos about him. Advice for college students. Well, if you're a college student, I recommend making sure that you don't glue your fingers together. NH, quand vous lisez et écrivez vos pensées sur papier ordinateur ou simplement dans votre cerveau, it starts here, and then I write it on paper, and then I put it on a Word document, and then I save the Word document, and I forget about it. What keeps you focused on work? The fact that I was bullied by capitalism into becoming a beast of labor. You can put me in front of a screen for 8 hours, I will not move a muscle. I have to be reminded to eat. Thoughts on Algerians by Amin Brahimi, who is clearly Algerian. I'm going to be very careful with what I say next. A lot of people think I'm Algerian. Make with that what you will. Best side out exercise, lateral raises. NH, are you acoustic? Yeah. Have you played Tekken? Yes. One of my first memory of playing a video game was Tekken when I was like 6. It was one of the very first Tekkens on like the PlayStation. And I remember the adults, it was like a party with my parents, and the adults wanted me to play because they thought it was cute. And we played for maybe 2 hours. I picked King because he looked like a big tiger, and I love big cats. And I started to beat some of the adults because they didn't like. I think they didn't quite understand with our boomer brains that I was part of the generation that grew up playing video games. So like as a creature, I have been specifically designed to play video games, and so I started beating their asses, and suddenly it wasn't funny anymore. Thoughts on the Vegeta? He's a pretty cool character. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Do you do any martial arts? And technically, me getting out of bed every day is a form of martial art. But no. And I also think that the body that I built with bodybuilding is not in line at all with a propensity towards being good at martial arts. Whenever I introduce people to a game I'm good at, they lose interest in the game. Olivier, I think it's also because you derive a sadistic pleasure in beating the shit out of noobs that don't know how to play. Like, no one likes that. It's like being diamond in League of Legends and inviting your friend who's like iron and running through them in lane. Of course they're gonna quit. Why no martial arts? Because I truly do believe that martial arts need to be taken seriously, and I personally don't believe in doing them on the side. Like, I've seen too many people who try to do jujitsu on the side, and eventually what they end up doing is they end up being sucked into it, because that's what martial arts do. Martial arts is not just a sport; it's a lifestyle. You have to live it. You can't just do it twice a week for 1 hour. In my opinion, that's the way I approach it. It's also because I'm super extreme, and when I like something, I do it 100%. Will you ever get shredded as fuck? No, I don't think so. I like being big. Do you do 20 plus reps other than, and sorry, I didn't see what you said, but no, I do not do 20 plus reps because in my opinion, it's way too far removed from a relevant intensity window. Are you currently bulking, maintaining, or cutting? I'm currently maintaining, and the way I do it nowadays is I bulk through fall, winter, spring, and I maintain in summer when my appetite is naturally lower. Preacher dumbbell curl standards for huge biceps? I would say so. Yeah, it's a good staple exercise. Bostian Farmer, you already asked that question. I already answered that question. You have to listen. How can I start caring about other people if I lack empathy? Empathy is a skill, and some people are naturally more inclined and have naturally more empathy from birth. If you want to get better at it, what I recommend is talk to people and listen to them. You're going to have to take a logical pathway to empathy. Listen to the way they feel, listen to the way your actions make them feel, and then adjust your behavior based on that. It's the approach that I personally had to use because I'm not a naturally empathic person. How to overcome shyness, put yourself out there, and understand that no level of social humiliation is going to kill you. It literally does not matter. Even if you make a fool out of yourself in public, within 20 minutes, people will forget about your existence. So be yourself. Like, talk to people. Something I would even recommend you do is go out of your way to make conversations as cringe as possible. That way you'll realize that it doesn't actually matter. Even if you go out of your way to make yourself look like a fool, it doesn't matter. And then you can just like scale it back and be a normal person. I think that being a weirdo in public is underrated. Me and my girlfriend watch you. You keep your hands above the cover. I was born in the cringe, molded by it. Yes, same. I've had situations in my life where I've spoken to groups of people, and I've had people verbally tell me, what you just told me made me feel so cringe that I'm going to leave right now. Like I've done that. I've had friends of mine take me apart and say, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Like, are you trying to get people to dislike you because you're doing it? It's working." Do you still do Arnold raises? No. I've swapped them entirely. Can you understand Portuguese? Yes, I understand it. I just cannot speak it. La rediff sera dispo. Pitié. Le mec a dit pitié. Oui. La rediff sera dispo. I changed my mind. This first stream will be available. Can you speak without accent? You think this is me speaking with an accent? This is how French people speak with an accent. This is how the average person speak when you go to France and you say, "Hi, could I have? I'm sorry, my good sir. I would like to know where the street to buy croissant is." Yes, very good. It's after the turn. You walk and then you take the turn, and it will be this street, just this street, just over here. Most attractive accent, in my opinion, it is the American accent in French. It is so cute. It's like they're struggling. They're like, "Oui, bonjour, je voudrais, oh oui, oh la la." It's so cute. ¿Hablas español? Claro que sí. Claro que sí. Thoughts on friend Canadians? I don't have any Canadian friend. I have Alex Leonidas, I guess. Est-ce qu'on doit agir pour trouver l'amour ou laisser faire le destin? Question de Pierre. Do you have to act to find love or do you just let destiny do its thing? You have to act. There's a chance that some of you guys on the chat have already met your would-be wife, but you are too pussy to approach her. And now she's gone. Don't make that mistake. Worst thing she can say is no. Do you have an OnlyFans? Technically, my Instagram is an OnlyFans. Would you still recommend Arnold raises? Yes. I didn't stop doing them because they're suboptimal. I stopped doing them because I no longer find space for them in the program. Are you French by blood? Oh, la question. Oh, la question qui fâche. C'est pas bien de faire des questions comme ça. There's no such thing as that anymore. If you have the paperwork, you're French. Do you still do finger push-ups? No, because it's a waste of time for hypertrophy. Why were you socially odd as a kid? Because I lacked social interactions. Simple. When you spend like your formative years reading books and playing video games, and then you're put with kids who actually interacted and played sports, you're going to be weird because you just don't know how to interact with them. The good thing is that you can train yourself out of that. But the sad thing is that you can also put yourself in a hole if you go completely antisocial. Do you ever snack? Yeah, I snack all the time. Just before the stream, I had an apple. Est-ce que faire des vidéos YouTube aide à mieux s'exprimer? Do YouTube videos help? Yeah, because go back to my first videos. I was awkward as fuck. And now I'm at a point where I can stream in front of almost 1,000 people and I'm like fluid. This is not something I was born with. I worked on it. Do you incline dumbbell bench? Yes. When I go to the gym, I do. Someone said she's dead. I hope not. How to get girlfriend if you never want to go out? Go out. You're not going to have the girlfriend delivery service who is going to knock on your door and deliver some like 20-year-old. That's not going to work. You have to go outside. You have to like exist in social circles. If you live in a poor country, do you recommend moving out or living happily here? It depends what you mean by poor. We spoke about Portuguese recently. I was in Portugal recently. Technically, it's poor, but the people were very happy. It was beautiful, lots of nature, delicious food, and everyone was like much happier than people are in North America. even though they don't make as much money. So it really depends on the cost of life and what you want out of life. I would move to Portugal in a heartbeat if I could. Are you a summer or winter person? I'm more of a winter person. I like summer for like the first 2 months, and then I'm like, all right, can it be cold now, please? Where Atlas says in Portuguese, in Portugal, when you no longer have a revenue and you're like retired, you might be fucked. Yes, that's true. You want to find a girlfriend, but you hate clubbing. I don't think clubbing is a good place to find a girlfriend. You will find someone to have sex with at the club, but not a girlfriend. Ever been to the Caribbean? Yes. I went to les Seychelles. It was a great trip, and I almost died 2 times. How concerned are you about sleep apnea? Unconcerned. Because I'm at this point where I know for a flaming fact that it's not neck size, and it's not muscle wise that creates sleep apnea, it's fat. It's weight gain, weight around your chest, and fat gains around your neck. That's what that is what is going to crush your trachea and is going to create sleep apnea. If it's muscle, you'll be fine. Any interaction with fans in real life? No, because I don't think I'll ever go to a convention to meet people because it's everything that I don't like. It's like 1,000 people under a roof breathing my oxygen. No. Are weighted dips and pull-ups good exercises for soccer? I wouldn't say so because I don't see how they would translate to your sport, but they are good conditioning exercises. I find most women mid. Am I valuing looks too much? I think so. I think so. Personally, I think that the balance of attractiveness between men and women is greatly skewed towards women. Men in general tend to look like shit. So if you don't find any women attractive, you might need to lower your standards a bit. Depending on how you look, of course, if you're like a 6'4" Adonis, you get to be super demanding. As an antisocial, how did you attract girls? That is a good question. Still to this day, I do not know. I think that they mistook the autism for a mysterious personality. And maybe I'm also good looking. I don't know. I personally think that I'm average looking, but I've had people tell me that I was good looking. Quand les Françaises t'attirent pas, c'est la galère. I can relate, Mama. I also was not attracted to French women. They're too skinny. Move to America. I think you will find that there's more cushioning for the pushing. What are your thoughts on doing a PhD in academia? If you can take the amount of insane politics at that level of academia, then go for it. But the average person's brain will explode. Favorite Portuguese food? Pastel de nata. I could kill myself off of that pastry alone. Like I would explode my stomach. It's too delicious. When I eat them, I have to tell myself, okay, 2, and that's it, no more. Thoughts on Alex Leonidas? Okay, so technically, the rule of the stream is I will not talk shit about other YouTubers, but if I have nice things to say, I can mention them. So Alex, I think, is someone who is a great advocate and a great flag bearer for the vegan diet because he's not an extremist. He's not in it for ethical reasons, which is important. And he's also showcased that, yes, you can be strong and you can be super good looking in terms of like muscle mass with a vegan diet. So look at his videos and give it a try. Make your own opinion. Don't base it off of what he says, but listen to it. I almost smacked the entire laptop away. Listen to him. Okay, I think. Hop. C'est fou quand même. Hein. Que penses-tu de la communauté des sports de combat qui loue le powerlifting pour la force mais critique le bodybuilding? Good question. So Brain Dead Tank says, what do you think about martial arts and combat sports who seem to have a hard-on for powerlifting, but who seem to think that bodybuilding creates vain muscles. I think this is beyond hilarious because the majority of these people, when they train, they don't train using powerlifting principles. They use barbells, and in their head, barbells equals powerlifting, which is ridiculous because bodybuilders were using barbells way before powerlifting was even a thing. On top of that, it's also stupid because a bunch of show muscles, like for example, the abs or the biceps, are incredibly important for their sport. Like, you're going to skip training your abs because it's vain when that's where a lot of the power comes from, the ability to manipulate the spine comes from. And to me, it's stupid. But you have to understand and keep in mind that a good chunk of sports still to this day train on the side with resistance training in fashions that are just not optimal, and they have yet to realize it. Are your arms bigger than your calves? Yes, sadly, which is not good. Will you answer my question? Yeah, I just did. NH, do you love all of us equally like a forgiving father, or is your favorite or is your favor subject to preferentialism? Unfortunately, I am not a perfect being, and I have my favorites. Do you like Japanese drill? I've never listened to it. What do you mean by politics at the PhD level, like wokeness or what? It's not even just that. It's the fact that you are going to compete for a very small amount of positions. And everyone in the department knows it. And they also know that the one that is going to get that position is not necessarily the one that is the most qualified. It might be the one that is going to get everyone else out of the way first. I've been in positions where colleagues manipulated messages that I sent them to the chair of the department to get me kicked out of the program. Like, that's the level of backstabbing you have to be prepared for because it's the norm. So if you want to go into a PhD, know that this is going to be most of your life. This is the reason why I stopped after my master's. The person that was responsible for the master's was like, "Hey, how would you like to get a PhD?" No, thank you very much. I'm taking my piece of paper and I'm leaving, and I will never return. Is getting a master's worth it? Depends. Depends. In the US, I would only get a master's if I knew for a fact that that master's is going to unlock certain positions. But looking at the job market nowadays, they don't really seem to care about degrees anymore. They only care about experience. So honestly, if I could talk to myself when I was younger, I would say, yeah, don't get a master, especially not in an area that is not going to get you a degree. What's your mobility like? I can put my hands flush against the floor with my legs straight. And I've always been able to do that without training. We're going to do physique reviews or just programs? We're going to start with programs. Yeah, this is the first stream. We're going to see where it goes. Est-ce que tu as des conseils pour les étudiants étrangers en France? Do you have advice for people who are foreign who study in France? I would say take a good look at your country of origin and look at France in a dispassionate way and think about whether or not you really want to make your life there and live there. It's fine to get your degrees and go back home. Don't think that it means, don't buy into the sunken cost fallacy of believing that now you have to stay there because you have a French degree, because it's not the case. There might well be opportunities in your country that are much more interesting. You know, personally, between being a second-class citizen in France that makes slightly more money or being someone who is in an impoverished country or a slightly less developed country, but where you get the respect that you deserve and you get good positions, I would always pick the country of origin. The reason why I left my country of origin is because I wasn't going to get that, unfortunately. I literally have a much better life in the US. So Isabella, not in club, so where do I find a girlfriend? Outside. And I know it's the older you get, the harder it is. School, when you're like in high school or when you are in college, is the best place to find a girlfriend by far. Outside of that, if you're in the workplace, you're going to have to get hobbies where you know there's going to be women, environments where there's going to be women. Um, like you go to libraries, there are women, but you also don't want to be the guy who's going to annoy the girls who come here to get books. So it's a balance. Do you usually not pass as French in France? The issue is that, like, what does it even mean to look French? For a lot of people, if you're in France and you're like this tone, you're French. So, but outside of France, I don't pass for French. That's for sure. Yeah. Bosnian farmer, I already answered your question. Papa Smurf asks, when do you post videos again? I posted a video not 4 days ago. You have to keep an eye out. We ask the important questions on this chat. Boobs or ass? Come on. We all know that the answer is ass. How to manage training while dieting? If you diet so hard that your training suffers, in my opinion, your caloric deficit is too high. It's normal to lose performance when you lose weight. It's not normal to lose performance when you're on a caloric deficit. There's a difference between the two. Your performance should go like this. If it dips, it's because you're starving your body. Advice for an autistic guy who doesn't get any attention from girls. So just to be clear, the autism part of it is not the reason why you're not getting attention, because they can't see the autism. It might be because you, unfortunately, are not that good looking. And that's a reality that you're going to have to live with. Then the autism becomes an issue because not only do you not have the facade, but you also don't have the game, because you are going to struggle to get on that level when it comes to like chatting girls up. So I would say work on what you can improve. Try and like get bigger, get more buff, try to like get a better haircut, take the sun, dress better, and then after that also work on your ability to connect with women. A lot of men don't speak the language of women, but if you do, you have a massive, massive advantage. How about the gym to meet girls? What are your thoughts? It's a dangerous game to play. Dangerous game to play because you have to understand one thing. The gym is already a male-dominated environment. Most gyms are 90% men, 10% women, meaning that every single good-looking girl in that gym has been hit on at least a dozen times. So when you approach her and you think I'm being subtle, you're not. She knows what you want. The second you start the conversation, she's already like, this guy wants to get in my pants. Meaning that you really need to have an approach that is more neutral. Like, hey, like chatting about training. A lot of women are perfectly okay with that. I see that all the time at the gym. I personally don't talk to people at the gym, but I see guys who shoot their shot, and the ones that actually manage to make it work are the ones who just exchange names one day. And then a week later, they chit chat about like the weather. And then you ask her, hey, what do you train for? You compliment her. When you compliment her, don't say stuff like nice ass in those leggings. Say instead, oh, I saw you doing chin-ups. You're a beast. Compliment the performance. Compliment something that she's worked hard for. She will appreciate that. She's not going to appreciate the comments about her booty. That's not going to work. That's for later. And then once you have established a relationship, you're on a first name basis, and she talks to you. If you're always the one who has to come to her for interactions at the gym, she doesn't like you. But if she comes up to you, especially from behind, and she's like getting your attention and stuff, then you know that she might want to reciprocate. And this is when you're like, hey, are you free to go get a drink one of these days? It's as simple as that. And again, the rate of success is very low. But if you want a gym girl, that's how you get a gym girl. Favorite Pokemon game? Pokemon Silver, I already said that. J'ai un entretien d'embauche à venir. Comment vous préparez-vous à l'entretien d'embauche? How do you prepare for interviews? Read up about the company. Get a few fun facts, like dates, stuff that you can talk about in the interview that shows that you are interested. Make sure that you come in knowing what you want, your salary range, and any type of accommodation you might require. Do not be desperate, even if you are, because they can smell that. And then just be calm and understand that that person interviews literally hundreds of people a year, and you are very unlikely to be the worst person that they've interviewed. So just be a normal person. Why do the French eat hamsters? We do not eat hamsters. I know that certain countries in Latin America, like Peru, I think do eat guinea pigs, but we don't. Haircut when? Never. Why are you denying that you eat hamsters? This is a baseless accusation. I did say that spreading gossips will get you banned. So be very careful with the hamster stuff. I can hear my wife laughing in the other room. I need help. How do I stop playing League of Legends? Uninstall that stupid fucking game. And I don't know. You have someone in your life? Tell them whenever you catch me playing League of Legends, smack me with a ham. Just, I can tell you that your life is going to improve immediately the second you stop playing that game. That game is just, it should be illegal. Like, it's just horrible. Favorite JoJo part 3. Do the coffee subscriptions help you out? Yeah, this is the reason why I started the coffee page. It's because I was literally faced with an ultimatum where it was like, either you work 60 hours a week overtime to be able to pay the bills, or you ask money from your community. And I was about to just say, fuck it, and just say, too bad, and let the channel die. And fortunately for me, unfortunately for my morals, my wife is much more balanced, and she was like, "Yeah, maybe think about that. Maybe there are people who actually want to see more videos, and they will be gladly helping you." Yeah, my wife is watching the stream right now. Will you make your kids work out? Yes, absolutely. I will start them young, but I will give them just general preparedness, and then let them do whatever they want with it. They will play whatever sport they want. How much income is good for 25-year-old? It depends where you live. It depends where you live. But where I am at 25, maybe $2,000 a month. Why not coaching full time? I don't say that. I mean, I want to make it clear that I understand that there are a bunch of my colleagues and fitness YouTubers who do coaching full time, and that's great for them. My issue with coaching is as follows. I don't understand why anyone would pay me to do something they could do themselves, especially with the amount of money I would charge you. Like someone in the chat said, why don't you charge $500 per person a month? Like $500. You're going to pay someone $500 for what? So they can switch your program around for no reason? $500 a month. I don't know. I know it's stupid. I know I couldn't. I know that there are people in this chat right now who might be willing to pay that amount, but I cannot like bring myself to do this. To me, it's a form of scam. And maybe one day I will change that too, and I will become a coach. But now, like right now, I can't. Pigeon time. Look at that nose I have. It's crazy. What do you think about internet girlfriends? Waste of time. Don't do that. Do you have any other artistic pursuits? Bodybuilding and philosophy. No, it's the two arts I'm good at. Ever been to Germany? Yeah. J'étais forêt noire. I was in the dark forest, and it was the coldest place I've ever been to. Like I've lived south of the Arctic Circle where it was like minus 30 degrees. Nothing beats the cold I felt in the dark forest. I remember waking up at 5:30 to go to school with my German little like buddy. And I went outside and I looked at him like, really? We're doing this? Really? Like we're going to walk through that forest right now? Come on. It was crazy. You have had quite a lot of adventures for an autistic guy. Life takes you places. How often will you stream? Every Saturday. No more, no less. I will not stream more because I don't have time. But I can tell you that every single Saturday, if you go on YouTube at 2 p.m. EST, you will see that face. And next time I'm going to use an actual mic that you can see here. But the issue with the mic is that I'm going to have to figure out a way because I don't have enough USB ports to plug it. Can we message on the Coffee page? Yeah. If you subscribe a membership on my Coffee, you can message me and I answer. But as I said, do not send messages now. We're going to start the Coffee thing next time. Is hamster better in the oven or air fryer? It's better in the oven. Any advice for a person extremely suffering from depression? Go see a therapist, check to see if it's an hormonal imbalance, and go from there. If your brain is not functioning properly, no amount of self-improvement is going to fix your life. Do you have any role models? Yes. My grandpa is my role model because he is the hardest working person I've ever met in my life, to the point that it's beyond ridiculous. He started working in the mines when he was 12. Before that, he worked in the fields as a farmhand from the age of 6. At 15 or something, he was already working on construction and buildings. He left his country with his entire family of 4 kids and a wife to give them a better life to France, where he learned a new language at the age of 30, 40 years old, became a construction boss, made a shit ton of money, went home, built a house with his own 2 hands, like just accomplishments after accomplishments. And the most important part, every single person that has ever met him says that he's the nicest, kindest man they've ever met in their life. And that is something to strive for, in my opinion. Est-ce que la mère patrie te manque? Do you miss France? No. Do you think short insertions change how you train? A lot of people argue that it does, and I don't know enough about biomechanics to tell you that it doesn't. Do you think Nietzsche was absolutely ripped at some point in his life? When he was in the army, I bet he had a pretty good body, but then he got that, he fell from that horse and he got that injury and he got impaled, which naturally is going to damper your ability to build muscle. Comment sortir d'une addiction? How to get rid of an addiction? Don't start it. I know it's shitty to say, but as someone who has an addictive personality, just stay away from all of the things that you know are going to get you under. And then after that, try and work with a specialist. What does your wife think of your body? She loves it. It's weird to say, but she also liked it when I was like grossly overweight. So I think she just likes me. Lame. On your way to work, have a good day, Sandpika. I know that some people are going to listen to this as they are working, so. How much does Emmanuel Macron pay you to make these videos? Il me paie en nature. Please help us find girlfriends. The issue is that the demographic on this channel is like 98% male. Like there's a few girls. You guys are going to have to fight over them if they want your sorry asses. I don't think you're Macron's type respectfully. I'm not going to go there, but you are right. Or to put tower pull-ups in a workout, wherever there is space to do a vertical pull. Are the VODs from the stream going to stay accessible on the channel? Yes, they will. I have to figure out how it works. I think if I just like end the stream right now, the video is automatically uploaded on the channel. So that's that. What age should you start weightlifting? Not training, but weightlifting. I would say that you can start doing like conservative weightlifting around the age of like 10. Stuff like goblet squats, stuff like pull-ups, push-ups, 10 years old. And then heavier stuff like squats, like heavy pulls, I would say wait until you're 15, 16. I know it's conservative and some people say it's fuck it, just start whenever you can. I've seen too many videos of kids trying to like do a 1 rep max deadlift with horrible forms at the ripe age of 12, where it's like you are giving yourself scoliosis actively. And whatever adult is responsible for it is an idiot. How do your parents feel about your YouTube? My mom watches the videos to learn English. I don't think she understands what I talk about. How many cats do I have? 0, sadly. Is calves just genetics? Nope. Because I'm someone who used to have puny calves and they've grown 2 inches in like the past 2 years. Have a nice dinner, Pringle Factory. So you're the factory where all the Pringles come from. Can you tell them to stop stacking them in the tubes? Because my hands don't fit in the tubes. Do you train forearms? What does it look like? T'es français? Oui, je suis français, mais on parle en anglais ici. Mais si tu veux poser des questions en français, tu peux. Which martial arts did you train? I did judo, I did wrestling, I did taekwondo, and then I did boxing. Jaffa cakes? There's everything here. Will you mention when to submit our programs for reviews? Yes, I will let you know, and it will be during the stream, because anything outside of the window of the stream is going to be just lost. Would you rather have bionic arms or bionic legs? That's a good question. Bionic arms, because the internal structure of the knee is so complex that I think it would be very hard to actually replicate every single function with a bionic leg. A bionic arm is much easier. Can you tell a story about a good friend of yours? A story about a good friend of mine? That's very vague. How do I destroy every single form node in my city? Just keep lifting heavy and mugging them. That's it. And out of shame, they're going to have to change their ways. What do I think of the chest expander? I've never really used it. I would refer back to Alex Leonidas to this. He is like the specialist, at least in my opinion. How do I speak such good English? I just keep speaking it. And I watch shows and I read books. Would you say training arms and shoulders on lower day while doing compound on upper body is fine? Yes, but you're going to have to make sure that all of the work that you do on your lower day doesn't impact your ability to press on upper days. Do you have friends? Not many, to be honest, because I don't have time. And it's not something that I would recommend doing. Friends are very important. So you watch foreign languages in subs? Yes. Yes. Si vous êtes français et que vous regardez le stream, vous allez améliorer votre anglais de façon automatique. Parce que vous écoutez quelqu'un qui parle en anglais. Tu t'entraînes à l'échec à chaque série. Do you train to failure each set? No. Only the ones for isolation and upper body. When is the last time you played basketball? I think it was in 2017. So it's been a while. What's your most and least favorite online fitness trend? Least favorite is all of the naturals who like to post pictures on Instagram saying, haha, look at how small I look when I have a shirt on. Haha, natural bodybuilding doesn't work. No, you're small. You're small. That's it. Like shirt is open, shirt is closed. Do I look any smaller? No, because I have mass. It's every time guys who are like 160, 170 who say that, and they don't realize that they're blackpilling other people and discouraging them from training. These people need to shut their mouth. That is my least favorite trend. My favorite trend in fitness is the I'm a X, of course I X. So like I'm a strong man. Of course I believe abs are overrated. Like I think these are pretty funny. Who will win in a battle royale between all noble nallies? I would put my money on Paris because he has military training. And I would not put my money on the Frenchman. Are you ready for death? Yeah. But my death. I'm not ready for the death of my loved ones. I hope I can die before they do. That way I don't have to deal with that. Comment gérer le stress en particulier avec les addictions qui reviennent constamment dans votre esprit? How do you deal with anxiety and stress when you have like recurring thoughts regarding things that like you can't escape, like recurring thoughts? Action. There are things that you can fix that torture you, fix them and move on. We all know how it feels to be tortured about something that you know you could be acting on. It's stupid. It's anxiety that you're inflicting onto yourself. And then once you do that, you apply stoicism. The rest of the things that you cannot influence, you don't. I know it's easier said than done. I'm a very anxious person myself, but you try your best and like focus on what you can change. Do you think in French or in English? That's a good question. I think in French. What happened to your cat? She died of old age. She was quite spoiled. Do you think we should lower body fat to 10 to 12% before starting a bulk? Not necessarily. Jung versus Freud? Jung. Of course. Are you going to get another cat? Maybe one day. Do you feel like you have different personalities speaking different languages? Yes. I'm much, much meaner in French. What has been my experience growing out my hair is very similar to bodybuilding when you bulk. You have that stage where your hair is like this long and it looks horrible and you literally look like an extra from Planet of the Apes, and you just have to suffer through it. Because if you want to get to that level, well, you're going to have to look like an idiot at some point. It's the same with bulking. You have this like auto mode, super lean, aesthetic physique. Then you bulk and you have that like middle of the road, pudgy physique that looks like garbage. And a lot of people, they panic and they cut right down onto the auto mode, but they don't realize that at the end of that pudgy physique is a good looking physique. Look at that bicep. Look at this. Yeah. Someone else like invest in a better setup. No. The only thing I'm going to improve for the stream is the mic. But like the entire like streamer setup with like lights and neons and stuff like this, that will never happen. I'm not a streamer, I'm a schmuck with a camera. All right, leave me alone. Yeah, but the mic, I think the mic can be improved. I don't mean to break your hearts, but the stream ends in 7 minutes. Is advanced genetics mostly the position of them on your arm, but like the fact of having veins, no. Et on se moque pas de l'accent français. Hein. Les Français qui se moquent de l'accent français alors que votre accent il est pire que le mien, attention. Hein. Next stream is Saturday. Every single stream is going to be on Saturday, guys. What was my biggest motivation for creating a channel? I've wanted to start a YouTube channel since 2016, and I kept putting it off, saying, "Oh, I'll do it when I look better, when I know enough." And then someone close to me died, and I realized, oh yeah, you can die at any point. Why are you waiting to do something that you've always wanted to do? Just do it now. And so I just took my phone and I made a video, literally. How do you break up with a girl that everyone expects you to stay with? They're not the ones who are going to spend their entire life with that person. They're not the ones who are going to raise kids with that person. Do not stay with someone just because they're beloved by your family. It's stupid. How to react to steroid accusation? You thank the person. What conspiracy theories do you believe? I believe in a lot of conspiracy theories, and they're all illegal to discuss on YouTube. What time of day do you personally like to train at? I train every day at 6 p.m. and I train until 8 to 9 p.m. Have you finished watching Attack on Titan? Did you like it? Not really. I really enjoyed it before we knew what the Titans were, because it was actually scary. The entire political discourse around Attack on Titan is also very interesting, but the ending was just bad. Just bad. I think that the author chickened out because he didn't want people to accuse him of being pro-genocide. So he was like, no, actually, genocide bad. See, the main character is a full story about what he did. I think he ruined his own story, in my opinion. Do you still play video games? No. I've stopped entirely. But I do watch other people play video games because I find that way I cannot get addicted. Any of the viewpoints on using tonnage? I still think that tonnage is a good notion to keep in mind for programming, because it's going to allow you to not become a volume or an intensity fiend. It's going to allow you to see the bigger picture. Volume is intensity, intensity is volume. They work together. You need both. Would you watch play video games? Usually I watch competitions. So like recently there was a Tekken 6 or 7 competition. I watched that, it was fun. Pourquoi j'ai souvent des baisses de performance dans mes séances? Why do I often feel less performant during my training sessions? It's because your blood sugar levels fluctuate. So if you do like heavy deadlifts and heavy squats, you're going to feel tired afterwards. That's normal. Do you watch any sports? I watch sumo. I used to watch sumo. I watch tennis sometimes. I don't watch football or like basketball. Beep beep boo. Why is your overhead press so low? Because I'm weak. That's why. What do you think about esports? I think esports are cool. Do you watch UFC? When there are big fights, yeah, but it's not. MMA is not my thing. What's your favorite smell? My favorite smell? Fire, I think. Firewood. How did you grow 2 inches on your calves? I am prepared for this because this is like this is a nuke. This is a knowledge bomb I'm going to drop on you, and you've never heard it before. I grew my calves by training them. True story. Are you the guy I saw driving on the highway? I remember you saying that. I wasn't the guy driving on the highway. What is my favorite question asked so far? The person who keeps insisting that I eat hamsters. Any advice for short men in dating? You better hope that you're going to find someone who's not superficial. For some reason, the hamster thing makes my wife explode in laughter. I just found out my girlfriend is French. Should I break up with her? I think it's already too late. How many hamsters a day is optimal protein? I don't know. Please don't let this become a running gag on the stream. She could be the one asking the hamster questions. That's true. Did you watch Devon versus Levan last match? Yes, I did. And I was not surprised by the results. I mean, Devon is a monster, but Levan is not human. Do you still eat raw garlic? Yes, twice a week. Who is your preferred grandmaster in chess? Ivan Chuk, because we have very similar personalities. Have you been to Ireland? Yes, I was in Dublin, and I was shocked with the amount of literal kids that I saw drunk on the streets. Like, I vividly remember seeing like 12, 13-year-olds plastered on the streets in the afternoon. You're 16, you want guidelines to gain strength, just train. You're going to get stronger. Pull-ups, Memati, qui demande pull-ups 4 to 8 reps versus 6 to 10 reps, 4 to 8, in my opinion. Someone asks, any experience with inner glute pain? Yes, I've had with post squat. It used to trigger my red glute for some reason. And the solution I found is do hip hinges that stretch the glutes. Am I good at arm wrestling? I can beat normies. I can beat people who are not trained, but an actual arm wrestler would milk me. And by milk me, I mean on the table, which still sounds weird. I'm getting stronger on all lifts except overhead press. Why is that? Because overhead press is a bitch. That's why. Who would be the best arm wrestler in the Noble Natty? I would bank it would be Alex. Because his forearms are ginormous. Is bodybuilding possible? Yeah, it is. If you enjoy Olympic weightlifting, you can use these lifts and turn them towards hypertrophy. Favorite wrestling move? I like the choke slam. Do you take finasteride? No. Look at this. Does it look like I need finasteride? Can the coffee questions break stream topic? If you want to waste your money. If we have a stream about personal improvement and you ask something about fitness, I'm going to tell you, hey, sorry, bud, it's not the topic. Today is a free-for-all, to the point that we're already like way past the time I'm supposed to cut the stream. But honestly, I'm very pleasantly surprised with the reception of the stream. I had like for some reason, I always knew I was going to enjoy streaming because it's aligned with not necessarily my personality, but like what I want to have on the channel. But the fact that you guys like it just as much as I do is great. And I expect there's going to be less people next time, just so that we can actually have a chat that doesn't like moves at 1,000 miles an hour. How do you get rid of muscle knots? Manual/mechanical. So with a lacrosse ball that you lay on and you roll the knots. I know that some people say, oh, it doesn't work because it doesn't produce enough force. Okay, sure, Pondexter, but it does feel good and it releases the knot, so do it. Then you also have to find ways to stretch that area via just lengthened tension, especially in the traps. How do you preserve muscle while you're on holiday? Forget about diets, eat as much as you can, and train whenever you can. How old are you? I'm between 28 and 45. Yeah, you just found out I'm French. If you want to unsubscribe, I would understand. Opinions on Jefferson curls and Kelso shrugs. Kelso shrugs, extremely effective, especially on the Smith machine. I recommend them. Jefferson curls, the bodybuilder in me would tell you, why would you spend so much technical points getting into that position when you can just do something else instead? But if you enjoy them, they're a great posterior chain builder. Why do French people get so much hate? Because they deserve it. That's why. Have you ever been to France? Is your hair natty? 100%. Have you ever been to Amsterdam? No. Jesus. I'm like trying to catch one question. I wanted to be back in RM Dopo. Yeah, this is what happens when the bold life chooses you. But you can still be a bold badass. Have you heard of Lebanon? Of course I've heard of Lebanon. It was a French colony for almost 100 years. Of course I know of it. What's the largest mammal you think you could knock out? A beaver, I think. Ok. Djibril, il est en train de péter un câble. Vas-y, mets ton message, je vais le lire. And we have someone who's going to commit acts of terrorism in the chat. Go ahead. Ask your question, Djibril. Et bien sûr, quand je dis ça, le mec pose plus la question. What exercise has built your abs the most? I would say sit-ups. Favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card? Gojiga Gagajigo. That big ass lizard. Last book read, it was Sun and Still. Are you a pied noir? I look the part, don't I? Spamming like emojis doesn't work because it pushes your message up, so I can't see it. Wasn't the stream meant to end? Mahir Abbas wants the stream to end. Should I end the stream? That's fine. If you guys don't want me anymore, it's fine. I can just leave. It's okay. I won't cry. Is the One Piece real? Yes. Can natties be as big as juices in some body parts like arms? So on the same individual, naturally the one who juices is going to be bigger. But if the question is it possible to develop a body part to the point that it looks like you're juicing? I think yes. I think it's possible. Non mais Djibril, il m'a lâché une dinguerie et après il est parti. Hein. C'est fou. C'est fou. Which books were the most important in your personal development? That is a good question. I've absorbed so much from books that I forgot where the information came from, which I think is the point. What exercise would you recommend for training legs at the park only? Goblet squats. Ah, ok. Ah, désolé, hein. On a Djibril là qui est en train de nous faire un AVC. Avoir les bras et l'épaisseur de guts en suivant le programme de Toji en achetant un exo biceps, t'en penses quoi? Je suis narrow et wide waist. Okay, so the question is, can I have as big arms following the Toji program instead of the guts program? No. The Toji program is specifically for shoulders and traps. The guts program is specifically for arms. So follow the guts program. What are the posters behind you? Dune. Old poster I got from a family member. And then okay, I killed the camera by doing this. This is One Piece and this is Dune. What? So now I'm okay. Bah, si tu veux le physique de Guts avec des grosses épaules, tu fais un peu plus d'isolation. It makes much more sense to take the Guts program and add shoulder isolation than it does taking the Toji program and adding arm isolation. I don't think the Toji program is ever going to be on Bootcamp because someone else already posted the Toji program on Bootcamp. Do you do cardio or just supersets instead? I do cardio now. Comment as-tu autant de culture? How are you so cultured? I'm just a superior being. Now, the reality is that I have a decent memory, so I retain a good chunk of whatever I read or listen to, which makes people think that I know a lot of things. Quel tome de Dune est ton préféré? My favorite is Messiah. Superman? Batman or Superman? Superman. Because Batman is a rich guy who has gadgets. Superman actually has powers. Best novice program? My novice program. And it's free on top of that. You can go on Bootcamp and get it for free. Pineapple on pizza? Yeah. Yeah, we call it la Hawaïenne in French. The Dune movies were pretty good. There are some questionable choices in the second one, but they modified a lot of the story. I hope it's going to be in service of the next one. Can I teach you something in French? Oui. Je vais vous apprendre. Qu'est-ce que je vais pouvoir vous apprendre qui va vous mettre dans la merde? Ah oui. You can say les frites, c'est pas français. If you meet a French person, you tell them les frites, c'est pas français. And you just wait for their reaction. Do you like JJK? Say no. Unfortunately, I fell for the hype. I actually do enjoy it. Why did you live in a mosque and how were the people there? I lived in a mosque because it was cheap. They took it was $300 for a room. I wasn't going to pass that on. And then the people were very nice. Is Paris the rudest city? No. No. I've been to New York. And JJK is actually pretty good. I think JJK suffers from the fact that it's a hype new anime, and a bunch of hype new anime are actually pretty bad, and they don't deserve the hype, and JJK does. Bah oui, les Français mangent des burgers avec les ustensiles, on les coupe, on n'est pas comme des sauvages, mettre tout le burger dans la bouche là. Quel est ton cheminement de pensée alors que tu prends une décision à moyen et long terme? Victor, who asked how does my train of thoughts work? First and foremost, when I have an idea or a judgment or a decision to make, I never, ever, ever follow my original instinct, because my original instinct tends to be garbage. You might be different. You might be someone who has a good instinct, but mine sucks. So I always sleep on it and I always refine it. And then once enough time has passed, I try to like figure out if it's a good choice, what is the best path, etc., etc. How many languages do you speak? Technically 3. I don't consider Spanish and Portuguese as languages that I speak because I'm not comfortable. Do you think Vitruvian physique is a noble natty? Anyone who is natty and wants to be noble is a noble natty, by definition. How long is it? Give or take. What is your book hot take? Modern literature is a word soup that tries too hard to be deep and that should just focus on telling good stories instead of like trying to have this like moral revelation at the end that is always boring because you've already read it. Will the streaming be available on YouTube later? Yes. Can women get away with dumbbell-only training? Women and men both benefit from having as many implements as they can get their hands on. I want big arms, but curls are boring. I'm going to ban you from the stream. Do chin-ups and arm curls. What does it feel like to work for a company that tries to fuck you over? It feels like every single day of working for a big corporation because they always try to fuck you over. Do you invest in the stock market? No. I am anti-investment and usury in general. Favorite body part to train? Biceps. Future retirement plans. If I can, I will go back to Europe and live in the mountains, in the village where my family lives. Do you use any perfumes? No. My nose is huge, and it's doing a pretty good job at picking up scents. And I cannot stand when I can literally smell people before I see them. Like it's just it blows my piss. So perfume on myself, I don't want to do because it's going to get me a massive headache. Any tips on how to be less emotional? If you're naturally emotional, the solution is going to be to have a better grasp on your emotions. You'll never be able to reduce your emotions. They'll always be there. But you have to find a way to like work with them and not let them be the master of your life. Yeah. Now I better understand how people are able to like stream for 8 hours, 10 hours. It's like seamless. You just go. Could I run the GOS program as a returner lifter, a novice lifter, as a returning lifter? I don't encourage you to do that. Yeah, I know that there's a subreddit. It's like if you thought for 1 second that I was going to create a subreddit for myself, tips for being more emotional now. That's more like it. Well, be more in tune with your emotions, and don't be afraid of your emotions. Someone called me vieux paix in the chat. Do not call me old fart. You know why? Because it doesn't translate. It's not a literal an insult in French. No one says vieux paix. Imagine being on Reddit. I've been banned from Reddit so many times. I think I had like 4 or 5 accounts banned until I just gave up. Favorite board on 4chan? Well, it's Fit, clearly, but I haven't been on 4chan in years. It is a waste of time, and it's really toxic for the brain. Are you a smelly person? Yeah. Why did you get banned from Reddit? Because like I would say like the most milquetoast take, and one of the neckbeard like admins would take offense, and instead of just telling me you're wrong because X, they would just ban me. They do it for free. They do it for free because it's the only moment in their sad existence where they have any authority on anyone. You just lost money on Bitcoin. Cheer me up, please. Sorry. Will you ever go back to having short hair? Maybe. Tips on becoming kinder. Be more aware of the way your words and actions impact others. And understand that, yeah, you have the right and the freedom to do whatever you want, but the people around you also have the right and the freedom to cut you off if you're a dick. Opinion on Sam Hyde. I think I discovered Sam like maybe 10 years ago, like at the very start. I don't know what he's up to nowadays. I'm sure nothing good, but he's a funny guy. Do I have some spare change? Sure, buddy. Actually, I'm a Nigerian prince, and I have millions of dollars. If you send me money on coffee, it will give me the funds so that I can then wire the funds to you. How do you handle jokes when you mumble and can't defend yourself? You're going to have to work on that because stuttering when you're in an argument is a death sentence. You lose all credibility. Do you know the Big Bang Theory? Yes, the show with Sheldon Cooper. Bazinga. Yes. Do you think protein powder is worth the money? No. Especially with the prices nowadays. Opinion on individuality in the climber. I like the fact that in the climber, individuality is presented as a nuanced stake because it can clearly be a bad thing. Tips: if you hate your job and can't stop thinking about the next day you have to go through the same shit, this is time to find a new job. Like, I don't like my job, but I don't hate my job. I wake up and I just do it, and I'm fine. Will you change your name to Natural Hypertrophy? No. All to know if we are overthinking. That in itself is overthinking. Will you ever talk about demons? Yeah, Dostoevsky will do just demons and maybe notes from the underground. Best advice for a long distance relationship: don't do it. How do I become autistic? Watch anime and don't go outside. Hey Ragake. How to stop mumbling? Articulate, slow down your speech. How much do we need to donate for you to do this full time? Can you imagine, like, if I went full time streaming? Jesus, you guys would get sick of me. I think the part of the stream that is going to be good is that it's novelty first, and two, it's only once a week. You'll get me 3 hours every single week. But realistically, the amount of money I would need to make from the internet to go full time on the internet is like 5,000, 6,000, and that would require me to like get sponsorships and monetize, which I don't want. It's also very risky, to be honest, because you never know where things are going to go. Like, what happens if the channel gets banned tomorrow? Up my ass. What should I tell people who keep asking me for help at the gym? Help them. And if you don't want to help them, pretend you don't speak the language. What do I pay you other than coffee? It's coffee. That's it. It's the only way. But I know that I have a bunch of people who are from Russia who want to date and can't. I'm sorry, Russian bros, but that's the only pathway. But I appreciate you wanting to help. Did you run an hypertrophy program on your nose? Nope. All natural. Don't even have to train it. Bon. As-tu vu Psychopass? Nope. There's a bunch of animes that I just missed entirely. Thoughts on resting between supersets? Yeah, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. How can you stop oversharing? Think before you speak. Wetness or moistness? Moistness. Dis un mot en espagnol, tu sais dire quoi? Queso. Why are you French? I was born that way and I did not consent. Have you read BAP? Yes. And I will eventually make a video about it. We might actually, I mean, as I said, we will eventually make philosophy streams. I just wonder how risky it is to review certain books on YouTube. Are you proud of being French? I'm proud of our great history. I'm not proud of what we are right now. Hello, NH, you seem like a very collected person. What are some of the best ways to deal with intensely stressful situations? Detachment mostly comes from the fact that you have been through the fire and you survived. So you know that if a situation is shit, you know you're going to be just fine. And that is going to allow you to take the situation with a much more level-headed approach, which in return will mean that you will be fine. Have you ever been mistaken for a chick? No. Because I think like from the back, you can tell that I'm a guy. À quand une vidéo sur avec Lucas Guif whenever he comes to the US? I have no intention of going back to France. Do you meditate? I already said no. What should I do if I like a girl from my class where in the first weekend she came up to me to chat? Okay, so she initiated. You are in. You are more in than a sausage in a hot dog. So now what you do is you don't fuck it up. Don't fumble that. She is going to keep coming up to you, sit next to her in class, talk to her, and once you have built a rapport, invite her outside of class so that you can take your relationship from just buddies and students to something else. Do you like the anime Kaiji? Yes. That's good. My pronouns are whatever you want. I don't care. You can call me Miss. Tips for getting a wider back, train it. You listen to Lady Gaga, poker face only. Yeah, I think that like I don't know how you guys feel about it, but when I have the mic, I might like when we do the philosophy streams, I might play some music in the background, but that is like in the future. Why? Please explain why you dressed up as a Smurf on Insta. Because I am a Smurf. Yes, I do listen to art style because it's a stupid style of music, which is the best when you're training. I say I'm scared of women as a joke. Is that a form of projection? Yes. Thoughts on South Park? When I was a kid, my uncle got us the South Park movie because he just saw the characters on the cover and he thought it was a movie for kids. And so we started watching it and we were transfixed with my cousin and we essentially rewatched it like 3 or 4 times during the day. And I think my uncle walked in during the scene where you have Saddam Hussein and Satan in bed, and Saddam Hussein has like a sausage and is like, ah, with the sausage. And I remember my uncle being like, what is this? And then they took the thing from us, but it was too late because we had memorized the entire movie. Like the Uncle Fokker song, we sung that a lot. How to insult French people? Tell them they're French. Would you ever open your own gym? No, because there's a big difference between liking going to the gym and being a gym owner. Okay, I think this is the perfect moment to end the stream, guys. So we're going to stop there. And fear not, the stream will return. It will return next week on Saturday. And it will be an hypertrophy fitness stream. So we will focus on that. And then next week after that, it's going to be self-improvement. And then after that, it's going to be dating. And then we'll see. Then we might do philosophy, or we'll go back to fitness. But it will cycle. I will let you guys know in advance. I will let you guys know how the donation thing is going to work if you have a question that you want answered. That will be through Coffee. If you enjoyed the stream and you want to support the channel, consider clicking on the pinned message. It's the Coffee page. If you think, like, let's say you can only donate $3 a month and you think, well, that's not a lot, that's a lot. That's already a huge help for me. So please consider doing that. And the last thing I wanted to say was, of course, the streams are going to be available for the people that missed it in replay. So they will be on the channel, I guess. Like the second I click end stream, it will be there. And if someone is nice enough to create timestamps, I think a lot of people would like that. But that is going to be that. It's 5:30 where I live. I'm going to go eat something, then I'm going to train legs. And I hope you guys are going to train as well. I am not leaving to eat hamsters. That's a lie. Yeah, it was great. I had a great time. Thank you guys so much for the first stream reception. I'm honestly overwhelmed, and I haven't quite realized yet, like, that this is it. This is the new continuation of the channel. This is the future of natural hypertrophy. Donc voilà, gros bisous. Je vous embrasse fort. Kisses, kisses. And I'm going to click end stream. Bye bye.